Yes, y'all. It is Tuesday and we're back again. Big up, everybody. Hope you're having a great time. Man, crazy night of UCL, crazy Champions League night. So definitely get into that. Big up to Darsh. Appreciate the encouraging everybody to subscribe, but definitely the Samaritans link. That is, and here goes another. Anyone wishes to donate towards teenage cancer, there's the link. Again, this is something that Darsh has been involved with. Definitely came on and kind of talked to us about it a couple weeks ago. But definitely encouraging people to support. Right, as a father, I couldn't imagine being in that position, having my children be dealing with cancer. So we want to do what we can to support. So big up to everybody. Appreciate it and hope that you will consider donating. But yeah, it is Tuesday. We're back. This is Talk Back Tuesday. This is my channel. I'm Tarek. Glad to have you. We do this every Tuesday night. This is a chance where basically it's a YouTube show where you get a chance to have your voice and have your say every week, multiple times a week. I'm on streams. Your favorite content creators are on streams, and we're talking about footy. We're talking and giving our viewpoint, our perspective, what I think, what I believe, what I feel. And quite honestly, you hear the same thing over and over and over again on different channels. But this is a chance for you to come on and say, I heard what you said here, there, or everywhere, but this is what I believe. This is what this is how I feel. This is how I see it. This is how I understand it. And so all viewpoints, all perspectives are appreciated and welcome, as long as, of course, we're respectful of each other, which never have an issue with our community here on this channel. So don't anticipate that today either. But definitely, if you are someone who wants to come on and you want to have your say, there is a link in the chat. The first message is a pinned message that has nothing but a link in it. If you click that link, it will take you to the take basically what they call it backstage in here in StreamYard. It'll put you into StreamYard where I can then bring you on stage. Some people, when they click that link, they come on, they say what they want to say, and they get off 5 minutes at most. Others come on and stay the entire night. That is entirely up to you. So if you are interested, you know how to get on. You click that link. So what are we going to talk about tonight? We got Champions League. We got, since the last time we met here on Tuesday, City went out and dropped a stinker against Nottingham Forest. We dropped points. Didn't win, ended up with a 2-2 draw. So we can talk about that. We then bounced back by putting a spanking on Newcastle, beat them 3-1 in the FA Cup. So we can talk about that. We can talk about just the FA Cup draw. But probably no better place to start than with the evenings, the nights, Champions League results, right? Champions League round of 16. Tuesday matches showed had Galatasaray going up against Liverpool, had Atalanta against Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid at home against Tottenham, and Newcastle at home against Barcelona. So those are the matchups for the night. We'll kind of go through those. Again, if you want to have your say, you got your chance to get on in the get in the comments, put your comments in there. We'll definitely read those out on screen as well. But if you want to get on screen and have a conversation with me, you can do that too. Need your mic, preferably your camera, prefer that. But though that combination of stuff will get you into the chat or into the stream, and we can have a conversation and chop it up. Either way, if this is your first time or your last time or your next time or whatever time, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It helps me as we try to continue to grow the channel. You can see at the bottom down there, we are trying to get to 500 subscribers. So definitely hope that you'll help me get there. But more importantly, hit that like button, get in the chat. Let's, as we always do, let us keep it lively, keep it thriving, keep it going, because that really does fuel the show for the evening. I also will say, big up Martin. big up. Appreciate you. More than welcome to come on whenever you're ready, man. I will also say that tonight is my normal time. It's 6:30 my time, but or was 6:30 my time when we started the show. It's a little early for you guys. It is an hour early because for some reason we turned our clocks. What is it? Forward. We spring forward um, over the weekend on Sunday. I don't know when it happens for those of you in the UK. I just know it's not now. So it is typically this show happens at 11:30 and it's late night and whatever. But it is 10:30, so you get a whole hour early. If we keep to our normal time, you'll get to go to bed early. All of those things. Uh, but certainly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Let's jump into the topics of the day. First up, big up Adam. Adam, Quinn in the chat. Also, of course, I shouted out Martin already. So big up to you guys. And of course, as always, big up Miami Snoopy. Uh, Appreciate you being here, brother. Always the first one. So let's get into the topics of the day. First match that we're going to talk about is the Galatasaray match that happened earlier today. Galatasaray was at home. They played Liverpool. They ended up with Galatasaray ended up with a 1-0 victory over Liverpool. They had a second goal, but it was overturned by VAR. For those of you that are like Liverpool, you'll fit right in. You'll understand because it was like, man, it felt like it was a good goal. I trying to work and trying to watch at the same time. You don't really know why I don't really know why they called it back. I don't know if they called it back for offside. It didn't appear to be offside to me. So I'm not really sure why they called that goal back, but of course it had to happen that way. Liverpool had a goal, had a goal that they had given up overturned by VAR. So that helped them out. And then, quite honestly, Liverpool, to their credit, they had a goal that was overturned. And so, big up, Ash. Appreciate you as always for stopping by. Thank you for being here. But Liverpool got the ball in the back of the net, and they had a goal overturned as well by VAR. This time, it was pretty clear what was going on. It was a handball by Kanati. So he kind of knocked the ball. It was a corner. Ball came in, kind of bounced around, bounced off his arm, and then went into the goal. You can't score directly from a handball. So goal was chalked off by VAR, which to me felt like the right thing. Again, no, not to whatever, but again, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I do believe that guess unless somebody tells me why the Liverpool goal that they gave up was chalked off, I do believe that this really should have been a 2-0 victory for Galatasaray, which quite honestly, I think they will regret because I don't know. And this is the question for the chat. So I'm going to have questions as we go through each of these matches. I want to know from you, do you think that Galatasaray can go into Anfield, the whole proverbial Champions League night at Anfield, under the lights? Can they go there and get a win with only a 1-0 cushion? If they had been up 2, they could have just lost 1-0 and they would have still gotten through. But being only up 1-0 without away goals, that doesn't matter anymore. So what do you believe their chances are of getting through? Quite honestly, I think they're going to go to Anfield and Liverpool are going to turn them over. They'll probably beat them 3-1. They'll advance 3-2 over the whole course of the tie. Ash agrees with me. Nope, a 1-0 lead at home is not good at all. Yeah, they had the second one. They did have it in the back of the net, and VAR overturned it. So again, I can't tell you why because I just didn't hear it. I didn't understand why they chalked it off. It looked a good goal to me. It really did. And so, we'll see. Of course, there's going to be a lot of talk about Mohamed Salah. Again, another game where he doesn't really contribute, doesn't really do a lot. There's going to be a lot of conversation about what he is or he is not bringing to Liverpool, which again, I don't really care because I'm not a Liverpool fan. But I know that Liverpool fans are having a big conversation. Who's better, Salah or Van Dyke? Who's providing more to the team? The reality is they both got paid. They both got big money, and neither one of them are doing a whole lot to help the team right now. So we'll see. Big up to Danny who is joining. Big up, sir.
How you doing, bro?
Doing all right. Just talking a little bit of Champions League before we get into the city content first. Did you watch any of the games today? I know you might be in school.
Nah, I didn't watch any of them, but I've seen how they all panned out.
Yeah.
A lot of goals.
Goals
not
were
a lot of
flying.
Interesting results, but a lot of goals.
Goals were flying in, and a lot of it was just, just poor. And we'll get into the different matches, but when we get to, let's just go ahead and talk about this Tottenham match. So they played Atletico Madrid, as you know. Atletico was at home, and Tottenham, we know they're in the relegation zone, right? So it would probably be a little unfair to think that they're going to come in here and smack up smack up Atletico Madrid. However, they've probably been better in Champions League than they've been in the PL. So you at least think they're going to keep it close, keep it competitive. But I watched on Paramount Plus, they have this thing, the Golazo channel. So it's kind of like if you do watch the NFL, it's like the red zone channel where it kind of goes between different games. That way I can see all of it as opposed to focusing on one. And, they go over there and it's 4-0. I'm like, how is it 4-0 in like 22 minutes? And then they show you what happens. And so first of all, Igor Tudor, kind of the interim manager, I don't know if there was an issue with Vicario or he just decided he was going to play the backup keeper. But they put in this 22-year-old keeper named Kinski. His last name is Kinski. Mm-hmm. He had like 3 big mistakes in like that first 15 minutes. He's slipping, he's passing the ball directly to the defender. And he's getting punished for every mistake. It's not like it's a mistake and then you get through it, whatever. No, he gets punished with every single mistake. And so, again, they're down 4 after only 22 minutes. It is a comedy of errors. They are slipping all across the pitch. They slip, they lose the ball. Let it go, comes back the other way, they score. He passes short. They play the ball back to him. He tries to switch field. He goes to play it to his right, he doesn't really kick the ball at all. It just kind of bounces around in front of the goal. They score. It's like it is almost impossible to be that bad, to give up that many goals in that short amount of time. It was insane.
Unless you're Tottenham and then you do it twice in the space of a few seasons. Because they had this game at Newcastle, like towards the end of the season, a couple of seasons ago. They were like 5-0 down in 20 minutes and they ended up losing that one 6-1. But it is just a circus over there. Because he was at fault for 2 of the goals, Kinski. But
yes,
I don't know if it reflects more on him or more on the manager. Because the manager's put him in there to make a statement, say, Vicario, you've been crap.
See, and this Kinski is the thing.
And so when you take the guy off after 18 minutes, does that reflect more on him or more on you?
More on
you realized you've made a horrible decision putting him in there. Because if you're going to easily a goalkeeper in, because he was actually good. He came in January last year. He had this really good game against Liverpool, I remember, in the first leg of the Carabao Cup semis last season. But if you're going to uproot your number 1 goalkeeper, why are you doing it in an away leg against a very, very
Champions
good
League? It doesn't make any sense unless you're just throwing the competition.
It's weird because again they were on a roll in the Champions League. They were beating teams left, right, and center. Of course, these teams weren't that good. They got a very, very fortunate draw.
Yeah, but exactly.
You'd think you're in a relegation battle in the league. That's where you want to make changes, not in the Champions League where you've got good momentum. So, just a bit strange. It's just a clown show over there. It's reminiscent of 08-09 when they started like first couple months in the relegation zone. So. I don't know how they recover.
It was again, I didn't see it in real time. I'm watching it on the Golazo channel. So they're playing it back as within minutes of when it happens. And it's almost painful to watch because it's like, one mistake after another. And, you realize the kid is only 22, right? My kid is about to turn 21.
Yeah, so, I'm 22 and
yeah, exactly. Like, so it's like this is truly a kid, and their biggest mistakes are playing out on the biggest stages, and it's just really horrible. But to your point, though, there's a conversation about the manager, and why did you bench Vicario for this match? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And again, I don't know if maybe they're just like, what, we just have to avoid relegation. Everything else is a distraction. Well, we have to put a team out there. We will, but we're not pressed about winning. We're just trying to we really want to get out of this competition without, you can't just forfeit it. You got to play it, but we're not necessarily playing to win. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me, because otherwise it's like, what are you doing? But regardless of why, there is a conversation that has to be had about his man management, because this is a kid who his confidence could be completely blown to pieces.
Oh, and if it's not gone, then fair play to him. Because like me as a student, I'm 21. If I raise my hand and the teacher says, no, your answer is wrong, that's embarrassing to me.
Exactly.
Let alone making 2 mistakes in front of a packed out stadium, in front of a bunch of fans watching on TV when your club's already under immense pressure as it is. Like, you just feel bad.
And then after you make the mistakes, to get hooked, like usually halftime sub, which keepers don't really get sub very often at all. So this is this is a big decision by the manager. It was a big decision to play him, but now it's a big decision to pull him out. And I understand to a certain extent, because you're trying to get him out of the firing line, because you feel like mentally he's gone, right? His head is gone. It's just it's only going to get worse from here.
Firing line in the first place.
Yeah. So then the question is, do you leave him in and hope he plays his way through it, but it could compound and get worse? Or do you just say, let's just pull him and stop the bleeding? And there's probably no good answer, right? There's probably no good answer, but somebody's got to do something. I saw a tweet that was, funny. And the tweet said, a Spurs fan has to call in a bomb threat. There's no way they can endure 65 more minutes of this. And it's like, just get the game stopped somehow, some way, whatever you got to do. You can't keep going like this. But I do have to ask the question, because I've seen Spurs fans on YouTube and on social media in general, talking about Igor Tudor and the fact that they want him out. And there's conversation about maybe he gets fired, and they bring in Sean Dyche. What do you think about that? Is that, do you think there's enough time? Because there's 9 matches left. Can Sean Dyche come in and keep them up? I should probably bring up the table to see exactly where they sit as far as points wise.
I just don't know how it would help them. Also, you're sacking the manager after 4 games. No, he's been awful. He's lost all 4 pretty convincingly. But what's another manager going to do?
Yeah. So Tottenham is currently in 16th place, and just everybody knows this already, but if you don't, the places 18, 19, and 20. So the bottom 3 go down, they get relegated. So they are 1 point above Nottingham Forest in 17th, and also 1 point above West Ham in 18th. So 1 point separates them from the relegation zone. They have a better goal differential as well. So if for some reason it were to end with all of them on the same points, they would stay up just by goal differential. But they've lost the last 5 matches, like straight losses.
Yeah.
And so it's not looking good, but there's 9 matches left. They played 29 matches. We play a 38 match season, 9 matches left, 1 point ahead. So they are sitting on literally a knife's edge. It could go either way. I don't know that Igor Tudor is the man. And he proved that today.
I never thought he would be the man.
He proved that today.
He was terrible at Juventus as well earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So
if you don't think he's the guy and you need to stay up, Sean Dyche has the reputation of being kind of the guy that can avoid and stave off relegation. There's also, back in the day, it was Big Sam.
It was Big Sam, yeah.
Yeah, it was Big Sam. So now I guess it's Sean Dyche, and so they're considering bringing him in. I don't know if it makes a difference. I think it might just be too little too late. The only hope that they have is that Nottingham Forest or West Ham, either one of them, just be worse. You only got to be better than one.
Yeah, and that's entirely possible.
Yeah.
The Premier League hasn't taken a major scalp in a very, very long time. It's always just three boring teams going down. You have to go back to the early 2010s for something interesting to happen in that regard.
So that was one of the things that I have on here for later on. I was going to bring it back up. But when we think about Tottenham being relegated, and again, I was saying, you only got to be better than one. It's kind of the whole, if you're in the forest and you're chased by a bear, it's you and somebody else. You don't got to be faster than a bear. You just got to be faster than the other person. Tottenham doesn't have to be great. They just got to be better than either Nottingham Forest or West Ham. As long as they're better than either one of them, they can stay up. But I did have a question. And again, people that know more than I do are more than welcome to put your thoughts in the chat. But, here in the US, we've had like the little economic issues, and they had banks go bad or go under or whatever, and it was the whole too big to fail, right? This bank is too big to fail, whether that be Wells Fargo, Bank One, whoever, right? They're just too big to fail. You can't fail. You're too big. And so I think about Tottenham are in the conversation. They are considered a part of the Big Six. Now, first of all, let me just park there for a moment. There really is no such thing as a Big Six. I know we call it that.
It was
when I started watching, it was the Big Four.
Yeah, it was a Big Four until City and Tottenham came along. Late 2000s, it was just Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and then
exactly.
Came along. Yeah,
and then once City started displacing teams out of that four, then they expanded it to five. Oh. Well, we got to have five because we can't for whatever reason, we can't put Liverpool, Arsenal, United, and Chelsea at the time out of that conversation. So then when
in truth, there's never really been a season in a long time where there's been the traditional Big Six all being good, because back when City and Tottenham joined the fold, that was when Liverpool brought in Roy Hodgson from Fulham, and they were absolutely terrible in that 10-11 season. So that's when their downfall started for about 10 years. So.
Yeah, see, so when I started watching in like 13, or really paying attention, 12, 13, because like United won in 12, I think. Yeah.
No, we won in 11, 12.
United I meant 12, 13. Sorry. I meant
United won 12, 13.
They won. And that was the season that I started watching, and then watched the season after. And then that's when I became, quote unquote, a City fan, right? But as we started to continue to establish ourselves at the top of the table, and then United started to fall, all of a sudden it went from a Big Four to a Big Five to now it's a Big Six, because we got to keep United in this conversation. And so, I just thought that was ridiculous, but whatever. Tottenham are in this Big Six for whatever reason. In the last 2 seasons, they have been closer to relegation spaces than they have to the top 6. Is there a such thing as too big to fail? And obviously not, because there's nothing that prevents them from going down. Who's the biggest team that you're aware of to be relegated? And Harry Briggsy's already started it off. Briggsy says Newcastle, big club, relegated in 2009 and in 2016. Villa relegated in 2016 as well. Leeds in 2002, he thinks. Big club status is there.
The big one I can really think of, aside from the Juventus one, which was not really based on them being bad, that was just a match fixing. The big one I can think of is Hamburg in 2018. That was the first time they'd ever been relegated. They're very historic.
Oh, you went to the Bundesliga.
I went to the Bundesliga.
Okay.
In England, like as Briggsy said, this is probably the best you're going to get.
Okay.
Of course, we were relegated in 2001, but we weren't a huge.
Yeah, we weren't considered. So when I started watching, I remember Newcastle going down. It must have been the 2016, because I wasn't.
Yeah, that was 15, 16 when Benitez came in. Yeah,
I definitely remember that. But when I So when I started watching, Sunderland had been in the top flight for some amount of time. I don't know how many years. And always a lot of conversation about the Sunderland Newcastle rivalry, and just that derby. So when they went down, and I don't remember what year that was, when they went down, to me, I was like, oh, wow, that's a big club going down.
Yeah, Sunderland was 16, 17 under David Moyes.
Okay, so that would have been after Newcastle. Okay,
yeah.
So it was like that rivalry, and then Newcastle went down and came basically right back up. Sunderland went down and was down for a long time. So it's one of the things that I appreciate about, because again, as an American, our sports don't have that, right? They don't have relegation, exactly. And I'm constantly preaching the virtue of relegation to my wife, and see, this is what we need this in the U.S. and yada yada boom. And she's like, whatever, man, leave me alone. But I do think, because again, could you imagine? People talk about like New York sports, right? You got if it's basketball, you got the Knicks and you got the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. Yeah. If it's football, or it's American football, you have the Giants and the Jets. Right? Could you imagine one of them going down?
No,
if that existed, but you would, but it could. But just because it's a big city doesn't, teams in London go down.
But the question is, in NFL, like, you'd have to promote someone. Who would you promote then?
Yeah, that doesn't exist. So it doesn't exist in the moment. But just the idea of, so like, again, you think about MLS, New York,
USL, you have, and all that.
Yeah. So if you have New York, that's the biggest. You got NYCFC, and then you have Red Bulls.
Red Bulls as well. Yeah.
What if both of them went down and you didn't have a team in New York? That would be crazy. But it would make it so much more.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, because there's more risk involved. You have to,
especially because you've got like smaller market teams in USL. You've got like El Paso and San Antonio and Orange County and stuff like that. So you'd get some interesting, like, diverse fan bases in MLS, and that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But obviously, it's more a financial thing. Can people afford to like make an expansion club, bring in the big stars and whatnot? Because every team in MLS right now has like a relatively household name. At least most of them do.
Yeah,
that's what it's not like your Beckhams, your Kaká level, Drogba level. Yeah. But there's like, they all have people who've like played in the Big 5 league in Europe nowadays.
Yeah. Ash, there is no relegation in any sport in the US, including our football league, or not American football, but soccer, quote unquote. There is no relegation. Now we have a league that is coming up that is trying to challenge MLS. And one of the ways that they're doing that is by instituting, or supposedly they're going to institute, promotion and relegation. But that's going to mean we're going to have 2 top flight leagues. It's a long story, but we will see if it actually happens. There is a team in the city that I live in that is just this year they moved to USL League 1.
Yeah, so that would third division,
third division. So if they do implement promotion relegation, my team or my local team would have an opportunity to actually get to the top of USL, but no other. That doesn't exist anywhere else in the US. So we'll see if it actually happens. But yeah, so I was thinking about Tottenham. So we talked about Newcastle as being maybe one of the biggest clubs that have been relegated recently. Would you consider Tottenham going down bigger than Newcastle when they went down? I will tell you that the last time Tottenham was relegated, I looked it up, was the 1976-1977 season. And they came right back up that following year, the 77-78 season, they came right back up. So that would mean effectively 49 consecutive seasons that they have been playing at the top flight. And now they are very much at risk of going down.
Yeah, I think it'd be bigger than Newcastle. I know Newcastle were a big team in the 90s, 2000s, but again, it's the longevity that Spurs have had. They've always been sort of near the top aside from these last 2 seasons. I think it'd be bigger. Yeah. I know they haven't won much, but they've been in the Champions League more often than not, especially like Pochettino years and whatnot. So I think that'd be a bigger scalp, at least to me.
Chat, let me know if you think Newcastle or if Tottenham is if Tottenham go down, would that be a bigger a bigger club going down and being relegated than it was when Newcastle, Briggsy listed Newcastle, Villa, Leeds. Is Tottenham going down bigger than any of those? He says those are big historic clubs based on fan bases, stadiums, trophies, and status, like amount of time in Europe, etc. Leicester, of course, doesn't really meet any of those to claim a big status. So, of course, Leicester going down isn't considered a big club, which I agree with that, just because they won that 1 year. But he says, look at Lyon last year. If they got relegated from League One before they appealed,
that would have easily
been
the biggest, because they won 7 leagues in a row in the 2000s. So.
Wow, 7. Yeah, see, that was because PSG wasn't really good then. PSG kind of had a they're as I understand it, at least, it's much more akin to what we see at City, where you had your ups, you had your downs, and then now you've kind of been established at that top table. You got bought out, and so I think that's kind of what PSG looks like. But
yeah, I think the other big club I can think that got relegated was Monaco in 2011, and then Villarreal also got relegated in 2013. So those are like the big ones. Fiorentina were in danger for like half the season, but they've kind of pulled away now. So we've had a couple like
Janino,
Malouda. Yeah, they had Essien as well.
All came. I assume that's all coming through Lyon.
That was their like title-winning team in the 2000s. They had like Squillaci also played for Arsenal.
So Benzema was there before he went to.
He signed for Madrid in 2009. Madrid. Pellegrini signed him for Madrid.
Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pellegrini had that crazy window because Kaká like rejected joining City, but then Pellegrini signed him in that summer as well. He signed Cristiano Ronaldo. I want to say he signed Negredo as well for both.
Because he ended up having they got a bunch of points and he still ended up getting fired or something like that. Because of course Real Madrid is notorious for letting people go.
Yeah, no, they did win the league that year. That was second of Barca's three-peat because they obviously won the treble in 2009, and they won the Champions League again in 2011. They won the league that year as well.
So. Gotcha. All right. Well, if you have any more thoughts about Tottenham going down, Tottenham being relegated, Tottenham being in that bottom 3, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll definitely read them out. The other matches from today, Atalanta hosted Bayern Munich, and Bayern beat them 6-1. And again, it was one of those things where you look at the score, it's 25 minutes into the match, and it's already 3-0. They end up going on to win 6-1. Bayern Munich do. Danny, if we get past Real Madrid, which I think we will, but some people may not. But if we do, assuming we get past Real Madrid, do we have enough to beat Bayern Munich over 2 legs?
This would be the first time in a while we'd go into a tie as underdogs. I would shade Bayern over us. I think we'd have a lot of trouble with them, but I wouldn't write it off. I wouldn't write it off.
I'm not going into it like, oh my God, there's no hope. But I agree with you. I think if you were to ask me who is the who's the favorite in the tie, I would say Bayern.
Bayern are definitely the favorites, but they tend to underperform in the Champions League a lot of the time. So
Ash points out that we would play that second leg away. So which makes it even that much more difficult, right?
Which makes it so you'd like to have a cushion going to the Allianz, and that's quite difficult.
Yeah,
like you'd probably only you'd only have to beat him by 1 goal. Probably you'd only beat him by 1 goal at the Etihad, and if that, and then makes it difficult.
You almost need to kind of run it up. Which when you see the big scores today, it's usually never a case where there's big scores both days. So when you see all these big scores today, chances are it's going to be like 1-0 all over all the matches tomorrow, for whatever reason. But it makes you feel like, okay, well, we got to go out and smack Real Madrid, but that's probably not realistic.
That's not going to happen because we say this every single year, and it ends up being a struggle at their place every time. Yeah. So
I don't care who they line up. There's just something about Real Madrid that you just don't go in there and smack them.
Of course.
And we've done it. We've outplayed them, and even when we've outplayed them and had big leads, then they've found ways to to get a couple goals at the end to make it much more respectable. We have our hands full tomorrow. You hope that, hey, we can go out there and, you see people hanging 5 and 6 goals. You want to do the same, or you want to at least get 3, 4. There's no guarantee. At the end of the day, we just got to get wins, get 3 points, or just, if you want to say it that way, but get the win. And then, you basically bring it back home to
for sure. Even a draw, I'd take it. Just if we don't get blown out, I think we can overturn it at home.
So, other question I have for you, because again, we watched Bayern Munich. They've been one of the better teams in Europe. Of course, they've always been one of the better teams in the Bundesliga. Though I don't know what the table looks like. They will probably go on to win the league again. They've got an 11-point lead, and they only play because they only have 18 teams, right?
Yeah,
so
only 18.
They play a 34 game schedule, so they got nine games left, and they have an 11 point lead on Borussia Dortmund. The goal differential, this is insane. I'm looking at this. They have a goal differential of plus 68.
Yes, it's the Bundesliga.
And Dortmund's goal differential, which is the next highest, is plus 27. So they have a 41 goal lead as far as goal difference is concerned. If they lost, they have 9 games left. So I mean, they couldn't just like lose them all, but there's no way that they don't win.
What's the point margin?
66 to 55.
Okay, it's done. 11 points.
Pretty much league over. Bayern is going to advance. They're going to win the league, I should say. So you have Vincent Kompany, and I should go back because this is his second year leading coach or managing them. They won the league last year after not winning the league before. They're going to win the league again this year. He's going to go deep into, well, it looks like potentially, now again, we stand in their way, but they have a chance to go deep into Champions League. Do these types of performances, you go hang 6 on Atalanta, you're winning the league by, crazy margins. Do those things make you more likely, or do they increase your desire for Kompany to come in as next city manager?
Well, I don't look at the Bundesliga all that much. I mostly look at the European games. And if he's able to make a deep run, hopefully win the whole thing. If it's not us, hopefully it's them. If he's able to go through, win the whole thing, especially on the more difficult side of the bracket, that would turn my head. That would show me he's improving as a manager. Because, okay, of course, the Bundesliga and the Pokal, they win the Pokal last year, but the Bundesliga, it's usually a given. Apart from that 23-24 season, it's usually a given. If you're a Bayern manager, you should be winning the Bundesliga. But like in Europe, they tend to underperform. They've won a couple in like the last 15 years, but like Bayern have struggled to win Champions Leagues recently. So if he can do it against the biggest teams in Europe, especially on the difficult side of the bracket, it'll show he's improved from last year, and it'll show he's definitely up there with one of the best managers. Because again, he's improved. He got relegated with Burnley, and part of that was because he didn't have a great squad. Part of that was because he tried to play attacking football as a low-ranked team. Last year, he struggled against Celtic, and then can't remember who they got knocked out by. But he didn't have a great European campaign. And this year, he's looked good. He's looked very good in Europe this year. So there's steady improvement. Am I ready for him yet? Probably not, but he's getting there.
And that's what I was going to say, right? There was all that conversation and hoopla about Pep is going to leave. Pep is going to walk in the summer, and they were throwing out Maresca's name and all this other stuff, right? And so I don't think any of us really believe that Pep is going to leave this summer. He's got one more year on his contract. So let's not talk about Kompany this season or at the end of this summer, but at the end of next summer. What would he need to do outside of, and maybe the only thing is just go win Champions League, but what does he need to do for you to be comfortable with him as next manager?
Yeah, I want deep European runs. There's not really much he can do in the Bundesliga. The annoying thing is, like, it's going to be a big step back up from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. Bundesliga is a weak league. Like, the teams at the bottom, you can expect to beat them pretty easily home and away. In the Premier League, there's not a lot of easy games anymore. Of course, he knows the league all right because he's managed here a season, but I guess the only way he can really prove himself is just to be consistent in Europe. Get to the semifinals at least his next 2 seasons, and If he keeps doing that, then fair enough. He's done all he really can.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's no intermediate. There's no intermediate between Bayern and City. It's just going to be direct, if anything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I definitely want him to be City manager in the future. I don't know if next year is the right time. I don't think anybody who follows Pep Guardiola is necessarily going to have real success, because you're going to constantly be compared to Pep. And exactly. it's just like, you know, the whole poison chalice type thing. It's like, you don't want to be the guy that follows Pep. You want to be the guy that follows the guy that follows Pep. Whoever follows Pep, be the one that comes after them, because chances are they're going to get compared fairly or unfairly to Pep, and they're going to get run out. And so
exactly.
then you come in as the savior.
David Moyes at United.
Yes, and he was the hand-picked person. He was the hand-picked protege, and the one that was going to be the one to lead him on, and didn't matter. It didn't work out. Constantly going to be compared to Fergie, and so I think it's going to be the same thing for Vincent Kompany or whoever comes after Pep. And so I love Vincent Kompany. I always tell people he is my favorite player of all time. And so for me, he can do no wrong. Of course he can do wrong, but he can do no wrong. I want him to be affiliated with our club for a lifetime, and he will, because he's got the statue out front, but you get my point. But I just don't want him to be set up for failure. And I think whoever comes behind Pep is going to be somewhat set up for failure. Ash says Kompany isn't ready yet, in my opinion, in his opinion. Yeah. So I definitely understand that. Welly Boot 95 says, bring in Amorim. Just imagine the rage if he wins the league. Yes, if he were to come in, first of all, there would be rage in the City fan base because he came in. If he came in and won the league, yeah, there'd be rage on the United front, because like he couldn't win it with them. But yeah, the thing about Amorim is, and of course I know this comment was made in jest, right? There's no seriousness, no sincerity to this comment. But the thing about Amorim, he requires a change of system, and you can't bring in anybody that's going to change the system, because our club, not just our first 11, our starting, our team, our whole club is kind of built around the way that we play, all the way down to the academy. The little kids, they all play quote unquote the City way. And so if you bring in somebody that's going to completely change that, I just think you set it up for failure, which is what happened in United. He came in and it was like, we're going to play 3 at the back. I don't care what happens. And then they got struck.
Yeah, either Amorim would like totally screw us over, or he'd win the league in his first season, and the media would beat down on Pep and be like, "Oh, Amorim won with this team. It's like Pep got carried by the team. Oh, Pep didn't win in his first season, and Amorim did. What does that say about Pep's life?" I'm like, come on.
And we're seeing it. I mean, to a certain extent with Slot at Liverpool, right? Because he came in, he won the league his first year, and the whole talk was, well, that was Jurgen Klopp's team. He did that with Jurgen Klopp's team, and then he had to try to rebuild it. And he brought in all these names, these stars, which is, to be fair, Klopp brought in some big names as well. Now, maybe not big names, but he spent big money. Again, when you went out and got Van Dijk wasn't the biggest name. He was coming out of Southampton, right? Or was he at Southampton, or was he over at in Scotland at Celtic at the time? It was
no. Southampton got him from Celtic, and Liverpool.
Okay, so then he got it from Southampton. Okay, I wasn't trying to remember. So again, he wasn't a big name, but they obviously saw something, and they were willing to pay the money that we weren't willing to pay. So he had good players, Klopp did, but he didn't go out and spend 100 plus to go get the quote unquote the best number 10 out of the Bundesliga. He didn't go spend 100 plus to go get, I'm going to say, the second best, because some people will say he was the best, but that's ridiculous because we got Haaland, second best striker in the PL, bring them in at the same time and then get worse. So he's getting hit over the head because, well, what's going on? We spent all this money. We expect you to win. And chances are, if you ask the fan base, they want to run him out. So we'll see what happens with Liverpool. But to your point, and again to Ash's point and everybody's point, I'm cautious about Company as the next manager, even if I'm optimistic about him as city manager in the future. We'll see if that actually happens. The last match of the day, as far as Champions League is concerned, was Newcastle at home to Barcelona. It was 0-0 for actually 88 minutes. Harvey Barnes, actually, I don't know who. Oh, is it Jacob Ramsey? Is that his name?
Jacob Ramsey, yeah.
I think he gets down the wing on the right side. He plays a cross in that finds Harvey Barnes at the back post. And I don't know what it is about Harvey Barnes, but it's like every time I'm watching a Newcastle match, this dude is scoring. And I usually only watch it when we're playing. So it's like he's constantly scoring against us. And so then I watch it, and of course he scores at the back post again today. So it's 88 minutes. They take the lead. It looks like they're going to get the 1-0 victory over Barcelona, which I don't think anyone was expecting. Again, it's not a lead that I think is safe, but literally I think it goes 90 plus 4 is how much time which time was given. It's like 94 plus, and Malik Shaw,
silly challenge.
Yeah, he challenges a guy, kicks his leg, kicks Danny Olmo's leg. Olmo goes down, and they give the penalty. And it's one of those things where you wonder if this were in the Premier League, would they have given the penalty, or would they have said, because it was a decent kick in the shins, right? But would they have said, oh, there wasn't enough there, or because to be fair, I do think Olmo kind of went down a little theatrically. You kind of selling the kick. But would Premier League refs have just said, "Oh no, we're not going to give it," or would they have given them the?
I don't know what they would have given, but they would have had some 5-minute long VAR check,
because it was and it was like, nope, he called it right away. Penalty. They went to VAR. Of course, they upheld it, and so Lamine Yamal gets up, takes the penalty, converts the penalty, draws the match even, and what was a 1-0, what was looking like it was going to be a 1-0 victory ends up being a 1-1 draw. And literally, like, as soon as they put the ball back on the spot, they kick it off, and then he blows the whistle for full time. So it literally was the last kick of the match that ends up being the goal. So it's a tough break for Newcastle. But again, even if they go to Camp Nou, because they were at home today, so they go to the Camp Nou with a 1-0 victory, I just don't think there's enough there to hold on. And I think Barcelona would have probably beat them anyway.
Yeah, I don't think Barca are that good. I think they've been quite poor in the league this season, but I do think they'll still shade it at the end of the day. What would have been interesting is if Newcastle had held on, and then you have Barcelona needing a goal, and Hansi Flick's sort of bold, traditional high line, with Newcastle being a team that thrives in
hits on the counter. Yeah.
That could be a really interesting cat and mouse game, but we'll see. I think Barca will make it through, but Newcastle, just like Tottenham, have been much better in Europe than they have been in the league. They got a very improbable result away at PSG. They demolished Karabag, so they've got a chance. I think the occasion might just get the better of them, but
that's fair. Going back to the conversation about Company, Welly Boot says, in reality, it's going to be so hard deciding who to get. I agree. I don't want Company directly after Pep. The expectations will just be too high. Yeah, that's what I've said, and I think we both agree on that. Ash says Yamal had a very bad game. Lewis Hall is a promising talent, which is I think he's been really good at left back for them. And then he says that can't see Newcastle winning at the new camp. Yeah, I don't think that they will.
I don't think they will, but I would totally rule it out.
Yeah. It's not impossible, but it's just maybe improbable or unlikely, but not impossible. So on the night, the Premier League went no wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. The losses coming from Newcastle, and Tottenham.
No,
Sorry,
Liverpool.
Yeah. Liverpool and Tottenham. Newcastle got the draw. Now tomorrow we're going to have City play. We're going to have Arsenal play. We're going to have Chelsea play. So maybe you feel like those three are the better three out of the 6 new Premier League teams. But out of the 3 that played today, we didn't get any wins. And by we, I mean the Premier League. My question for you, Danny, question for the chat is the Premier League, is the strength of the Premier League a little overrated?
I think towards the top it is, but like I've always said, across the whole league, it's very close, very competitive. But the top is not where it used to be. It's not the late 2000s, early 2010s no more. So
we have it has the depth, but maybe not the just overall like strength at the top. Those top teams aren't as dominant as they were.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, Tottenham are just not very good. Newcastle, about the same. Yeah. We're still growing. We're pretty good, but we're not where we want to be just yet. United are absolutely horrible, a shadow of themselves compared to where they once were. Chelsea the same. So,
yeah. Fair enough. So those were today's matches in the Champions League. Tomorrow, of course, Champions League continues on tomorrow. First match is Leverkusen versus Arsenal. Arsenal will be on going away to Leverkusen. What do you expect in that match, Danny?
For the
Leverkusen Arsenal.
I don't know. I expect Arsenal to take care of them pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
The scoreline might not show it, but I don't think they're going to have too much trouble there.
Yeah, Arsenal's scorelines aren't always big scorelines. They've been bigger in Europe than they have been in the Premier League. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is like a 2-0.
Yeah, now the hope is that they keep it close, so they actually have to try in the second leg prior to the Carabao Cup.
Can't just sit a bunch of players.
If they do what they did to PSV last season and put 7 past them, then they can just rest for the second leg, and we have to actually try against Real Madrid at home. Then we're totally gassed for the cup final, and that's just not good. So
yeah,
I expect them to deal with them pretty comfortably over 2 legs. Maybe not tomorrow, but over 2 legs.
Big up, Governor. Appreciate you being here. Ash says it is going to be a walk in the park for Arsenal. I hope not. I hope it's at least difficult for them. Make them, like you said, Danny, make them have to actually play in that second leg. More love for Lewis Hall. Can Pep convert Lewis Hall to right back?
It's an interesting question because he actually got shifted out to right back in the latter stages on Saturday after they made the subs. But
is that when they brought on Livramento?
I think that's when they brought on was it Dan Burn?
Dan Burn, okay, yeah. Because Livramento typically plays on the right for them a lot of times, which is why I think for us, I know last year when we were looking at bringing him in, we were thinking about playing him on the left. And so I think having the flexibility to play either side is great. But if he's gonna play, he's got to compete with Mateus Nunes on the right side. I think that's probably where he fits the most. Speaking of,
and historically, you don't really see a lot of left-footed right backs. You see a lot of right-footed left backs, at least recently you have. But
because a lot of people are right-footed,
left-footers on the right, very, very few and far between. The only one I can really name is just like what United have been doing under Amorim, where they play Amad Diallo out there, but it's just not really a thing that happens. He was actually all right at right back on Saturday, but whether it's a long-term thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that's Leverkusen, Arsenal, Bodo Glimt, the dark horse for this trophy. Bodo Glimt is at home against Sporting from Portugal, of course. I think Bodo Glimt can beat them. I don't know if they will, but I think they can.
Yeah,
I don't think they can. Sporting is anything special, so I think I could see Bodo Glimt getting a 2-1, 2-0. Yeah, I could see that happening there.
Yeah, I think Bodo at their best are probably a better team than Sporting, but Sporting another one of those teams where just for some reason they've been very, very good in Europe. So we'll have to see. I'll shade Bodo Glimt for this one.
Yeah. The other thing that I don't know, and I think I read this the other day, is that Bodo Glimt is is their season like over or hasn't started yet? And so they're like MLS, kind of where it's
I
like
want to
their
say it
season is
starts this
off.
month, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it's like
So
a
it's like
summer
MLS
kind of
then.
Yeah.
We just started our season here in MLS, and I say our just because it's the US, but I don't have a team. I don't really pay attention to MLS really. But I did watch Sunday, I think. But I wonder if that makes it better or worse for them. Because like for MLS, when they play against Mexican opponents in the CONCACAF Champions League, a lot of times they'll lose because Mexico are like into their season. Yeah, and the US teams are just getting going. But I mean, how long have they been without regular games? I know they played in the Champions League, but Champions League has been about a month. Has it been a month since we've last had the last Champions League game? 3 weeks?
Yeah, end of January. So
yeah, so I wonder what have they been doing? You're just training for a month?
For Bodo, they had the playoffs, so
okay, so they still had regular games. Okay, cool. Because again, I was going to say if they've not been playing regular games, then it's going to make it difficult.
They played a couple games against Inter. They took them to the cleaners.
So. Governor, we're going to get to your question in a minute. I'll go ahead and bookmark it so I don't forget to ask it. So yeah, I think Bodo beats Sporting at least tomorrow, maybe even over the whole tie. Yeah. All right, so big match, PSG versus Chelsea. PSG is at home tomorrow against Chelsea. Chelsea to me is kind of up and down. You never know what you're really going to get from them.
Yeah, they're a weird one. It feels like they're more up for the big games and they lose the silly games like they drew to Burnley a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, no one expected them to win that Club World Cup final. They absolutely took PSG to the cleaners. They demolished Barcelona. They've given Arsenal a game a couple times, not really gotten the results, but I feel like that's going to be closer than people think, especially because PSG have regressed massively since last season. Like they're not really lighting it up in Liga either. They're out of the cup. They've had a couple poor results in Europe. I think PSG will win over 2 legs, but wouldn't be shocked either way. I feel like tomorrow's going to be close. I think it could be a basketball game, like a 3-2 or something. And then we'll see what happens at the bridge. Maybe Chelsea just have one more magical night under the lights.
So you said potentially 3-2 tomorrow in favor of PSG, I assume?
In favor of PSG, that's what I'd say. But again, I would not be shocked either way in either game. I actually think it's a lot closer than people may want to believe.
No, I think Chelsea have been, like you said, for big games, they tend to get up for them. And so it would not surprise me if they draw and or even win tomorrow. I don't expect them to get, like, I don't see this 5-0, 6-1. That's not going to happen in that match. I don't think Chelsea get blown out like that. And nor do I think they have the ability to blow out PSG like that. I don't think they have offensively, you know, their attack is good enough to do that. I don't think. We will see. Because João Pedro has been really good.
He's been a revelation.
He's been really good for them. I don't know if that is just purple patch, if that's just who he is now that he's at Chelsea and he's playing as the main man, as your number 9, as opposed to trying to be a 10. I don't know what it is, but I just don't know if they have enough. Cole Palmer's not been good this season. He's had injuries and other things, and I'm sure there's reasons why, but he's not been good. I just don't know where these goals are coming from. So I think they're good enough to keep it close and maybe even win the tie. But it's definitely not going to be a blowout in any stretch.
No, it'll be very close. We'll see.
Welly Boot says, he says Chevalier has been very poor. Can see Palmer and Concedo just going for long rangers. I think he's been like on the bench. Has he been playing? Chevalier.
Palmer.
Chevalier.
He's been on and off because I think Safanov's had a couple matches recently.
I was going to say, I think they've had the other keeper in there. And again, this is a testament to how you never know. Because again, last summer or in this summer, everybody wanted Chevalier.
Yeah.
To the point that Luis Enrique was willing to bench Donnarumma, who had just won him the treble. So it was weird, but now you're wondering, wow, that was a big. It feels, at least at this point, like a big mistake to make that change, and so, um, maybe they get it figured out, but there's no guarantee that Chevalier becomes who I think everybody thought he was going to become. And I'm looking at it now, they are in a title race.
Yeah, with Lens, I think
Lens.
it is.
Yeah, Lens. Only 1 point above Lens, 57 points versus 56. Ash answered the question I was going to go searching for. No, he's being benched. Speaking of Chevalier, Safonov, if I say that correctly,
Yeah, Safonov. Yeah,
Safonov is starting over him right now. So again, it was a big decision to make, and now you're trying to manage your way through it if you're Luis Enrique. But it'd be interesting. So yeah, I didn't think about, well, can they go for long range shots or whatever? But I think it'll be close. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's a blowout either way. And then the last match of the day, and the one that we as City fans really care about, is the Real Madrid match versus City. We go to Real or to the Bernabeu. We're going away. And so obviously the big questions are around the lineup. Before we get to the lineup, Welly Boot says Mark Gahey's first Champions League game away at the Bernabeu is mad.
It's crazy. But
you've never played one. Didn't even get the small games to kind of build up to it in the group stages. You go right into this knockout round against what is probably the world's biggest club in many people's minds.
I trust him. He knows big games. He knows playing crunch time every 3 days. He was a starter for England in the Euros. He's made an FA Cup final with Palace. So I think he'll be ready for it.
So the question has to be asked at the back. My assumption, based on your comments, and I assume even from Welly Boots' comments, that we are assuming that he is going to be our left-sided center back, Mark Gahey.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I absolutely.
There's probably little to no chance of Pep moving somebody over to that left side over him. I think the fact that he did he not start the last match? I think he didn't start the last match.
He didn't play.
Yeah, again, everything was about getting them ready for this moment, getting them ready for tomorrow's match, getting them healthy, getting them fully ready to go. So we expect him to be there on that right side. And of course, I'm not trying to pit one player versus the other. And I'm typically, I like to think I'm pretty level-headed on this kind of stuff. But what are you thinking on that right side as far as center back is concerned?
It's difficult because the verdict I came to on LB's show was whoever he picks, I'm fine with. I think they each have their perks over the other one. And people are going to hate me saying this. I'd shade Husanov over Diaz just because he can probably go stride for stride Vinicius Jr. But Diaz definitely has that big game know-how that you can't really teach. You can only sort of do it by experience. So I'd be fine if Diaz played as well.
Yeah,
I think he knows crunch time. He knows playing must-win games every 3 days more than Husanov does, to be fair. So if he plays, then no problem.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm good either way. I know what Diaz gives us. I also know if Kuzanov comes in, I think that I don't know that the drop off is that major. And also, I think he gives us something that Diaz doesn't, which is that pace. Of course, you got to keep him out of like foul trouble, keep him from getting yellow cards early. So you got to kind of manage it. And especially those opening, I imagine the opening moments of the match, those first 15 to 20 minutes are going to be probably wild. They'll probably be coming at us with everything they got, trying to get an early lead. And then we'll settle down into the match, and it'll kind of go into a normal routine, and then we'll kind of progressively stake our claim to the match. But
yeah.
I imagine those first 20 minutes are going to be hectic. And so you want to make sure that Kuzanov, again, not trying to go back to those first moments against Chelsea, but just trying to let him, stay calm. We got this. Don't get too caught up in the match or the event, right? It's just another game. Just play it like another game. So we'll see.
Sure. And look, when that lineup comes out at 11:45, because it's an hour later nowadays, no matter who's on that right center back spot, I'll be like, all right, I know why he chose him.
Yeah. Like I said, they each have their pros and cons, and they each bring something different. And I could argue both sides of that fence.
Yes.
And be okay with it. So Governor says the defense that he wants is Kuzanov, Diaz, Gahey, and Ait-Nouri, which, again, I hear that, right? And it gives you both Kuzanov and Diaz, so you get the benefits of both. But I think, and this is just my opinion, and I'm not knocking a governor's opinion because that's his opinion, but I think that would be hard or unfair to Matheus Nunes. I think he has been really, really good for us. And he's been good all season. I'm sure that there are moments that he's made mistakes. Every player makes them, so I'm sure he's made some. But I can't, in my mind, point to some major moment that I'll be like, oh, to use a LB phrase, I can't point to a bozo moment with Matheus Nunes this season. Last season,
not since Brighton. I don't think there's any real reason why we should be dropping Nunes. I think he's got that right back spot on lock, and there's no reason why I'd shuffle him out the team.
And while I can't say if he's as fast or faster or what than Kuzanov, I do not believe that Matheus Nunes is slow. I think he has handled, he's got enough pace to keep him in any race that he's needed to be in all season long. And so I personally would play Matheus Nunes on that right side as our right back. But again, if he does this, then it's him saying, it's Pep saying we're going to go all in on our defensively, just trying to be solid at the back. Kind of the whole, it's not quite the 4 center backs because Gvardiol is out, but 3 out of the 4 being center backs, and then you're trusting Ait-Nouri to kind of get up and down. But so if he does this, I'm not going to be like out in an uproar either. Whatever he does, I'm going to be good with as far as our back line is. It kind of picks itself to a certain extent. But yeah. Welly Boot says, I'd never wish injury on someone, but just happy that no Rodrigo goal for once. Definitely understand that, because it feels like even when he was in the world's worst slump, he always found a way to score against us. So definitely don't want to see that. So yeah, definitely understand that. Ash says he thinks that we'll smash them. Which smash, I think we win for sure. Smash feels strong, but
I wouldn't go that far because, like I said, we say this every single year, and every single year it's close or we don't win. We've only gone there and scored 3 or more goals once, and we didn't even win that game. It was 3-3. So,
yeah. Governor says if Rodri can play, he wants him alongside O'Reilly. I guess the question is, can O'Reilly play? Because I know O'Reilly went out with an injury was that in the Nottingham Forest match?
That was the O'Reilly injury was Leeds.
Yeah, Leeds. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. He did play this he played the other day, right? He played alongside. It was him and Nico G
and Gonzalez.
Yeah. So I think O'Reilly can play. I think they'll both be able to play. It's just a matter of what does Pep want to do. What do you want to see in that midfield, Danny?
I'd go Rodri, O'Reilly, and Bernardo. But
yeah,
I see the argument to have Cherokee in the team in some capacity.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd bring him off the bench, but it's just so close. It's splitting hairs for me.
Yeah, I think you got to go with the lineup that has been the most stable throughout more games all season, and I think that's like you said, it's that Nico O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo midfield. Now, again, if for some reason Rodri can't go, I have no problem bringing Nico G. I feel perfectly comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
But I just don't imagine that that's what it's going to look like. Big up Dylan Pepper Squad. Appreciate you, man. And big up to City Ferrari. Might jump on in a bit. Big up chat. Again, more than welcome. This goes out to not just Ferrari, but to anybody. If you're in the chat and you want to jump on and be a part of this conversation, you want to, again, you're hearing what I'm saying, you're hearing what Danny's saying, but you disagree, or maybe you do agree and you want to have your say. You want to tell me why Mateus Nunes should be moved to the bench and we should be playing Kuzanov, or why Kuzanov should be starting over Diaz. You have your chance to do that. All you have to do is go into the chat. There is a link is in the pinned message at the top of the chat. If you click that link, it will put you right into the backstage of StreamYard, and I can bring you on stage and we can talk about it. But definitely everybody is welcome. Also, if you're just joined and you haven't already hit the like button, please do that for me. But also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm definitely trying to get to 500. My target is to get there by the end of June, but I think I can do that well before that if I get your help. So appreciate it. Governor said, I said that because Rodri get cards for didn't Rodri get cards for a ban?
I think he served that against Galatasaray because just the second yellow, 1 game suspension. So he's back in contention.
See, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's a good call out. Appreciate it. City Ferrari says it's Louis. What's with the name change, man? Look, this isn't like back before when it didn't matter what it would just put whatever you had up there. It was like, it would just say Tarek or whatever. I don't know. Now it's got the your actual, I guess, whatever you signed up with YouTube or whatever. I don't know. It makes it hard to keep up. Plus, I'm old, man. I get my own kids' names mixed up. I can be looking at them and I still call the wrong name. And I laughed at my grandmother when she did that, and then I laughed at my mother when she did that, and now I do it, right? So I'm an old man. Don't switch it up on me, Louis. But big up, man. Glad to have you. So the other question, so we talked about the midfield. We already said what we want to see there. I want to go back to a question that Governor added when he first jumped on, which is, would you have Doku left, Semenyo right, Holland up front?
Yeah, and that is my front three right now. But again, I would understand if Cherokee played. I would understand if you got Marmoush in for Semenyo, but that is my preferred front three by a hair. I think it's pretty balanced.
Yeah. I've said it the entire time he was out. I think Doku being out was a big miss for us. I think he provides a lot to our team that nobody else does. Savinho did a little bit of that the other day. So if he can get one healthy and two consistently playing well, then you have someone else that can do it on the other side. But that ability to take a man on, beat a man, hold the ball up. He's strong on the ball, so he's not going to lose the ball easily. He does lose it, don't get me wrong, but he's got quick feet. Doku is really, really good. I love the kid, and I think he adds a lot to our team. So yeah, I think assuming he is healthy, and I know he was been out, and then he came back against. Actually, I think he came back against the No, not. It was at Nottingham Forest. He came
in
off the bench.
He
came in off the bench for Nottingham Forest. Didn't play well. But then you saw him against Newcastle and started slow. You didn't really see the ball a lot early on. Started slow, but you could see as the match went on, progressively got better and better to the point that I think as long as he didn't pick up any additional injuries or any setbacks, I think you have to go with him. Him running at Trent Alexander-Arnold, TAA. Him running at him is going to be, or should be, if we give him the ball and we give him chances, should be a massive mismatch, and we can expose Trent's weaknesses. Now, Trent is good going forward, and he's going to make some passes. He's going to bring some people into the game that probably no one saw, but I don't think he has anything defensively to stay in front of Doku consistently. So it would not surprise me if they bring somebody else in, or they have to double up, which most teams do. Most teams double up. So we will see. So yeah, I think I go that, and then like you said, that front three of Doku left, Samuel right, Holland up top. So let's see. Welly Boot says he subbed. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Big up. Appreciate the love for Danny too. Thank you so much. Dylan says, I'm telling you, I got a feeling he's going to play Savinho. Savinho played well. So, again, I don't think he's going to do it, but he might. Nick says Savinho, Holland, Doku.
Yeah, and the question is, can those wingers work with Holland? We had that debate a few days ago. But
yeah. So what's funny, right? When he was playing Holland, Semenyo, and Marmoush, everybody was saying, "Where's the creativity? We don't have any creativity. We don't have any creativity. We don't have any creativity." So then last match when he started Doku, and was it Doku and Savinho? Was it that? It was
Doku
right?
and Savinho. Yeah.
So then my thought was, not where's the creativity, because I think that they can create. Where's the goals going to come from? Where's the goals? So it's like, regardless of who he puts on, I'm like, wait, there's a hole here in how are we closing this gap? So I think Savinho is a good player. I think Doku's a really good player. I personally wouldn't have Savinho in this match, not from the beginning. Now, again, I would bring him on. But I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't have him as a starter. But that's just me. He did really well.
Yeah, that wing pairing is interesting because both players in isolation can find Holland very well. But if they play the way they did against Newcastle, I'm not sure if it would suit Holland. I think the players themselves do. I think Savinho last season found Holland so many times, and Doku this season has really improved in that regard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Holland takes up the same positions that Marmoush does. I think a lot of the success on Saturday was the positions that Marmoush took up. And this isn't a slight on Holland. I think Holland does his own game very, very well. But yeah, different keys for different locks, as they say.
That's the Martin phrase.
Yes.
Different keys for different locks. Nunes, Kuzanov, Gahey, Ryanite, Nori. Kuzanov, not Diaz. Not Diaz. Okay. Rodri, Bernardo / Nico, and then Cherky. Okay.
Interesting.
Doku, Omar, Erling. Wow. Okay, Louis. That is not what I was expecting.
And so how would this work? Would this be like Cherky off the right and Marmoush like behind Holland with Doku on the left, or what would it be?
It'd have to be, because he's got Rodri and then one of Bernardo or Nico. So big up Martin. Glad to have you. I was trying to find a name to call you. I was going to call you the Godfather or the Grandfather or something. I don't know. But then
come on, he's not that old.
But then I realized that I'm probably older than you are, or at least as old. So it's like, I don't want to do that, because then that's not good. So I just settled for just calling you by your first name. Just call you Martin.
The Grandfather.
Well, I started with Godfather, but then that makes you all intimidating and whatever. And then Grandfather was the next name.
I'll say Godfather. I'll take Godfather.
You're a big teddy bear. You're nice.
It depends if people are talking about Foden. I'm not a teddy bear.
There you go. There you go.
That's when I turn into Godfather.
There you go. How you doing, man?
Foden father. That'd be a better one. Yeah, I'm good. How are you two? You good?
Yeah,
I'll be on camera.
You feeling okay?
Yeah. Stitches out next week. Well, Staples out, not Stitches. Staples out next week. I'm just chilling, taking it easy.
Gotcha.
Enjoying it.
Gotcha. Ash says you're the quad father. That's what I'm supposed to call you.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a different conversation because, of course, we all know Arsenal is going to win the quad because the media keeps telling us that. Anyway.
I thought we were crap.
What's that?
I thought we were crap. That's what I keep reading everywhere. We're a poor team with a poor squad with a poor manager. Yeah. That's what I read everywhere. So, how dare we talk about it?
Say I don't read it. I hear it on the different streams, not City related streams, but other streams, of course. So we're having a conversation about the match tomorrow, and we're kind of going through the lineup. So I think there's some mixture. Louis just gave us his. And again, this isn't to pit one versus the other, but what's your back four? We got Donnarumma in goal. What's your back four?
Tomorrow, Nora, Gay, Diaz, Kushner at right back.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you go Kuznov right. Interesting.
Yeah,
so you're going to bring.
Question. What's your justification for dropping Nunes then?
Because I don't think we'll be playing in that much. See, I'm going there as a bit of a scaredy cat. I'm not going there with this all swilling. Let's go.
You're not coming out with chest wide out.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's still the Santiago Bernabeu. I've been like this since they were playing the bloody B team. Listen, I've had so many nightmares at that place. I ain't going in there with this. Oh, we're gonna stuff them 5-0. I wanna stuff them 5-0. But listen, I'm still gonna respect that badge. I'm still gonna respect that stadium. That's why. So for me, I just want to have a little bit of defensive situation, and I want to play him on the counter. And I think you can do that without Nunes in there. But I'm playing Nunes at home, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair play.
I'm just being a bit of a coward away. Sorry.
Going uber defensive. Okay, I got it. And it's, again, kind of like the year that we went 4 center backs, but in this case, you got Ait-Nouri at left back. So.
Because he's not dropping Diaz. Everyone can live in this little world of a bubble that is dropping Diaz sometime. There was a reason that bench was that bench at Newcastle.
I was gonna say, do we read anything into the fact that Nunes played at Newcastle when most of the other quote unquote starters didn't? Is that a sign that he's not gonna play at tomorrow?
I think it's a sign that we don't have a variety of right backs. Is what that sign is.
Well, I guess he could have played Kuznov there, but yeah.
What you going with Rico Lewis at the Bernabeu? Are you, Tariq? You going brave?
No, definitely not. Oh, did we lose Danny? I got Louis in here too. I lost Danny.
I thought you were going brave there and chucking a bit of Rico in at right back tomorrow.
No, I'm not putting Rico. I love Rico. Rico's a good kid. But I'm not putting him into that lineup. No.
Sounds like Calvin Phillips. Nice lad. Smile.
No, not the same, but he's not in my lineup. But all right, so you got Kuznov and Diaz both playing because you got Kuznov at right back and just again trying to be defensive. Be defensive and strong at the back, and then hit them on a counter. So who is your front line? Your front four? I assume Haaland, and then who's around Haaland?
Well, the midfield. I'm saying midfield. I'll do forward.
You can go the whole thing. You can go the whole thing.
Rodri, Nico Riley, Bernardo.
Yep.
Semenyo. People are going to think I'm crazy. I'm going to go Doku, Semenyo, Haaland.
Well, that's what we said.
Yeah, that's what me and Danny were advocating for too. So
I'm going very similar to what we did in December.
Louis,
play him on the transition and go out and give them let Doku be the outlet.
Louis had a different, quite a bit different lineup. So go through yours. I know I read it out earlier, but go ahead and go through yours again.
Gigi in goal, Nunez right back, Kusa Gehi the centre backs, Ain't Nuri left back, Rodri, Bernardo or Nico, and play Cherki, Doku, Omar, and Erling. Because I think that because I got the explanation for it. Our last Champions League game against Galatasaray, Cherki, Doku, Omar, and Erling all played together, and we literally tore them up, left, right, and centre. So and I think that's what we need to do. Like, just go on the front foot and go for the kill. Whether we do that or not, like, it's up to Pep.
I was gonna say yours is much more attacking than the mindset that Martin is going in with. This lineup probably scares you to death, Martin, because you're like it's gonna be too open.
I've accepted that it's pretty much impossible to get the kill tomorrow. So I'm like, just put out a lineup and can win the game. They're not going to win 3-0 tomorrow. Yeah. If they win 3-0 tomorrow, I will do some unthinkable things. But yeah.
Whoa. Hello, darling.
Tranquilo.
Hey, that's gonna make stateside more entertaining then if that happens. No, but I'm with Danny. I don't. There is this belief going around that we're going there to end the tie tomorrow. We have got 2 legs, you know. We don't. I know it'd be nice to do that, but
is that a fear? Or not, I shouldn't say fear, but it's a recognition that they have players that are going to be out. And so we have to win it before they come back, which I say is kind of a fear. We got to win it before they come back. Because if they get healthy, then maybe we're not going to win. So we got to win. That's why people feel like, is that why people feel like we have to win and kind of win the whole tie tomorrow?
I think there's still some PTSD around from, I mean, they said it earlier on Blues Down Under, and I think it's spot on. I think until we prove stuff again, until we win titles, or forget titles, until we win trophies again, there's always going to be this fear in this team right now. People have got the PTSD that it's not City-itis anymore, it's win-itis. Until we win again, there's always going to be that little bit of fear, I think. People need to see the proof in the pudding, if you know what I mean. I think before people are confident going back into these games again.
Yeah. That's fair.
No, and this is what I mean, because everyone's talking about we've got the squad depth to like survive this run, but then again, do we? Because a lot of these players haven't played life or death games every 3 days. You know, Kusnal is relatively untested. Nuri's never done it. Cherky's never done it. Trafford's never done it. Not that it's like Trafford's a huge cog in this, but there's just a lot of, I won't say young players, but players who are like inexperienced on the biggest of stages.
The highest.
Nico G's never done it. Nico G's never done it.
That's another one. I had like a whole list. Yeah. I had a whole list that I tweeted out of players who've just not done it. Marmouche's never done it. Semenyo's never done it. Savio's never done it. O'Reilly's never done it. So it's like,
and to Danny's point, to Danny's point,
we have an inexperienced team. So
you've got to lose sometimes. I mean, let's be straight. How much pain did we go through before we actually won the Champions League? We had to fail on like 4 or 5. We even had to lose in a final to go back there. It was sometimes you do have to live these moments of, because sometimes these young players walk into a final or a semi-final and they think, wow. I always remember Nico. I always remember Nico Riley's quote after the Community Shield a few years back. Well, I think it was about when we played United. And he said, I walked out at Wembley in front of 85,000 people in a derby and I froze. He just froze. Because you got to remember, these are not playing in front of 2,000 people at the CFA. The stuff now you're at the big boy level. You're at big boy, and sometimes it's great if we can go there and finish it. And listen, sometimes you just come up trumps and they all come together. But I think this is why, going back to Danny's point, I think it's very good. especially on Cherky. I think that's why Pep made that big statement on Cherky last week. I don't think it was Cherky's crap. Cherky's not. It's just he's young. He's got to learn. There's so much more to come from him.
No, I think on a talent standpoint, our squad's one of the best in the world. But as far as experience,
100%.
As far as experience and know-how goes, we're still very inexperienced, and it may be too soon. You know, how many times like Mancini, Pellegrini days when we make it out of the group stage and just get slapped up by Barcelona because they've got that pedigree. We've got some of that treble spine still, but half of our like best 11, they've been playing for Wolves, for Lyon, for teams that don't play title race games, Champions League games every 3 days. So some players will step up. Some players will step up for sure, and some players will have to learn. We're going to win some of these games. We're also going to have to learn in some of them too. I won't say mistakes. I'll say learning moments, just to not make it sound so negative. But again, we're going to have this crazy run of 7 games. Maybe we'll win 4 of them, and the other 3 of them, well, they may not go our way. We've just got to take the rough with the smooth, I think.
I mean, at the end of the day, you don't like, for Danny's case, you don't qualify out of university and become a CEO of a multi-conglomerate billionaire company within the next week.
Unless, of course, your dad owns the company, your family owns the company. Otherwise, that doesn't happen. Yeah. Otherwise, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta learn it before you do it, and I think that's why. Listen, I think we'll go through. You know, for me, I think we'll get to the semi-finals of this.
So I want to ask you both that then, because I think
I don't bind.
I think we get past Real Madrid, but I am admittedly a little bit concerned about Bayern.
They cooked Atalanta tonight.
They did.
This is where my point comes in of like, maybe it's just too soon for some of these games. Maybe this is like a Pellegrini versus Barcelona kind of thing where we're just going to have to go in as the underdog and give the best account of ourselves as we possibly can. And maybe that won't be enough. Maybe it will be enough, but we got to relish being the underdog. I think that's just how it might end up being.
Bayern are a funny one. Because when they went to the Emirates, they got torn apart. Absolutely torn apart by Arsenal. So, don't get me wrong, Bayern looked very, very good. But was it the opposition? This is the problem. It's about it. Are Atletico Madrid that good or are Tottenham that poor? And I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. I think Bayern are a very, very good team. Very dangerous team.
And I think with Arsenal, most of their players know each other. There's continuity in that lineup.
Yeah.
8 or 9 of them have been playing with each other since 23, 24 and beyond. Like Rice has been there for a while. Gabriel.
They built this up, Donna.
Yeah, Gabriel and Saliba have been the centre-back pairing for 4 seasons now. We've got Gay, who's just arrived. Husanov, who's just arrived. Diaz, he's the mainstay.
Yeah.
And the other 2 mainstays, Stones and Ake, everyone wants frozen out. So it's going to be tough, man.
But without those 2, you're not beating Newcastle, by the way, on Wednesday night.
Of course,
phenomenal. This is
we're not as far along in our rebuild as PSG are, or Bayern, or Arsenal, and we're just going to have to be patient and wait it out.
I think it'll be quicker. I think our rebuild will be quicker than all of theirs. Because I think we've probably got the money and the infrastructure better than all them to get that done. And I think we had a solid. I'll put it this way: if you can get Rodri to extend, then I think the rebuild's done quicker. If you've got to replace Rodri, then it's different. To me, I think Rodri's the key to all of this whole transition rebuild situation.
And I don't know that this is the case. I'm just asking it as a question. Is the Elliot Anderson situation dependent upon what happens with Rodri? Meaning, if Rodri stays, does that rule us out of Elliot Anderson in your mind, or does it not have an impact on it at all?
See, I've heard different again today. I've heard the Rodri things now swap round again. And they're now confident he's going to sign. So the problem is, I'm now coming to the conclusion, until the thing's bloody done, I'm not going to believe what's done anymore, because this is changing on a weekly, so I don't know.
And this just hammers home my point of why I hate transfers, because stuff changes. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But do you think that Elliot Anderson is like only coming if Rodri leaves? Is he a Rodri replacement?
No, not
or
anymore.
Is he coming in to be okay?
No, I think that's changed because I think somebody else's situation may change.
Okay.
I think Elliot Anderson will probably take a Bernardo or a Nico G role.
Yeah.
If Rodri does go, then maybe you could. But I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. I was sat eating my tea as you do, and I was talking to my lad, and I went, who are the top number sixes around the world right now? Like the top number sixes. And I'm struggling. So Rodri goes, who is it? And everyone will go, well, Nico. Nico G's probably our best bet. But you've got to make sure he's happy to be. I don't think it's a City situation. I think it's an England situation with some of these players as well.
You guys need to be more accommodating.
I can't control the weather.
You guys need to be more.
What do you want me to do? I can't control the rain.
So I don't know if you guys get this show on. There's a Hulu show called Paradise, and basically it's the kind of like this whole apocalyptic end of the world scenario. But they build this like city underground, underneath the mountain, and they control the weather, so they can make the sun come out however they want. So it's always sunny. We just need you to control the weather over there. Look, social media tells me that
I'm not God.
People are, but social media says that people are out here controlling the weather. So all I'm saying, if there's somebody out there controlling the weather, there's somebody out there with the power to control the weather, do me a favor, make Manchester sunny so that I don't have to lose any players because of the weather anymore. Okay, I don't need you to make it my place better. I'll move, but just make Manchester better.
So you're on your knees begging for Nolito to come back.
Yeah.
You know what? He had his chance. He can't come back. The door only opens one way for him.
No, I'll tell you, Danny Negredo would have been the better example.
Negredo, yeah.
He couldn't stand England. He wanted to get out. He landed in it and went, "Whoa, what is this?"
I mean, he
played well until he got hurt. Until he hurt his shoulder.
He was a beast.
Yeah. I mean, he was really good until he hurt his shoulder. Yeah.
That was his nickname, the Beast. And with Nico J, my understanding is it's not Nico that's the issue. It's his family and his partner. Again, it's these partners. Stop it. Stop having the women control you guys.
But you know what? The funny thing is,
Martin, stop.
Like I feel Martin, like Pep encourages them to settle down. Because everybody that comes here, they get married right away. They have kids. They get settled down. So it's like Pep wants them to do that. But then also,
yes,
if they don't want to be here, then it's like, wait a minute. You can't just be like, oh, well, find you. There's plenty of fish in the sea. No, you just got married. You got kids with the person.
It's a big, you know what? People don't realize that. That is a huge thing for City, actually, which I don't think they don't want players who are Jack the Lad. So when you hear about the profile of a player, the background checks of a player, this is what people think. They're just looking at a football aspect. They're looking at a whole situation of it. It's not just criminal backgrounds, or are you single? Are you going to go out on the piss all the time? Are you going to, they don't want that. Because Manchester City's a global conglomerate. They want you to, treat it like you're at Manchester City. I think the way City view it is, if you're at City, you should look at it like you're at Barca or Real Madrid or Liverpool. Have your head on straight, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's funny. Cade says he got a Negredo signed boot, and then he told Khaldoon he was his favorite player, so Khaldoon promptly got rid of him, kicked him out. So
everyone's like company.
We blame Cade for that.
Not everyone's like company. Marries a mank, children a mank. Not everyone does that. Some people won't do it. But,
which is why
very different.
Which is why, question for you both, because I asked Danny this. When you see Bayern spank Atalanta, and you can say, well, it's just the opponent. you see them running away with the league. You see them potentially, if they get past us, they make a deep run into Champions League. Does that make you feel like Company is more ready now, or is he still several years away from being?
Are they getting past Arsenal before they get to us?
Who?
Well, they won't have to play Arsenal. They won't have to play Arsenal until if they play Arsenal, it'll be the final, right?
Number 1 and number 2, so they're on different sides of the bracket.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting
they're
confused.
On our side.
Yeah. Sorry.
So if they get past, it's like if they'll play them, then they'll play the winner of ours, and then they'll play whoever comes out of Chelsea and Liverpool and all them.
I think Bayern would treat City different. I think Bayern will respect City. That makes sense. I don't think they're going to come and play this open play football. I think at the Etihad, listen, Company's not stupid. Company knows, man, and he knows Pep, and he knows it all. So he's not going to come and try and open play footballers.
I know a couple Bayern fans, and they say they really struggle against teams that can control the game against them. Obviously, that's few and far between in the.
I'll say, which is probably why they struggle with Arsenal.
Yes. And we can control games. We show we can control games. So maybe we cause them a couple problems. I still think we're not as far along in our process as they are. So we'd come in as slight underdogs. But again, it's one of those.
What, to Bayern or to Arsenal? Sorry.
Well, to both of them. I think Arsenal are farther along than us. I think Bayern are also farther along than us, and that's fine. We're in year 1 right now, so it's all right.
Have you gone right back? You're right back at 2012 there, right? You done it?
Oh no, mate! I'm at 2008-09. I watched the Premier League games last night.
Jesus, he's gone back to the takeover day. The videos coming out.
You think last January was good? You can't remember Bellamy? He came in January, scored in his debut against Newcastle. Yeah. Wayne Bridge, Nigel de Jong, Shea Given. What a January window!
How much we buying from West Ham? Was it West
Bellamy?
Ham? Yeah,
I can't remember. It was West Ham because he started the season.
Yeah, it was 36 mil, wasn't it?
Under Gianfranco Zola at West Ham, it was at the time.
Because didn't he score against us at Upton Park? Sure, he scored against us earlier on in the season. Yeah,
might have, can't remember.
Well, no, that was when we got Craig Bellamy, Wayne Bridge as well, didn't we? In that jam.
Yeah, and De Jong and Shea Given. Winter 2009. Yeah.
Martin, Louis, did you guys watch the games today?
No.
Did you hear about the Tottenham match and what happened?
Oh, yeah, I've heard all about
So Cade has a question, and Danny, you and I talked about it, but you're more than welcome to chime in too. What do you think about the Tottenham manager ignoring the keeper who went off? So again, to set the stage, young keeper, not Vicario. Last name is I forget. It's on my notes somewhere, but I don't remember his last name. But he's 22 years old. 22-year-old keeper. I don't know why. Kinski. I don't know why he rotated, but he rotates the keeper.
That was my question. Was Vicario injured or
Vicario came in because he took the keeper off after 22 minutes, I think. Yeah. No, he came off.
He made 3 mistakes.
He got substituted within 20 minutes. Keeper made a bunch of mistakes. The back line made mistakes. They were down 4-0 after 22 minutes.
Yeah. I think he's killed his career.
Well, this is my question. So, and this is what Kate is asking. When he takes the keeper off, first of all, to Danny's point, it was your decision as manager to put him on anyway. So now that you've made that decision, now you're pulling him off, which is also bad, which kills this kid's confidence and puts him in a bad position. But then, and this is what people were pointing out, that he didn't even acknowledge him when he came off. He just walked off, and the kid goes basically straight down the tunnel. So my question, and I guess his question for you, what do you guys think about how he handled that? And they just said basically Vicario's just not been good.
Right. And so the point I brought up is like, they were flying in Europe. Why are you changing it up in Europe? Why are you not changing it in the middle of a relegation battle where you kind of need change there? Why is he sticking status quo during the relegation battle, but changing it up in Europe where the
I think they know they're already going. I think they're going down. I think Tottenham are going down quicker than the Titanic.
So
I said this because they haven't got the players for it. Those players are not for a relegation fight. Xavi Simons, he's sat there right now thinking, what the hell am I in here?
So if they go get Sean Dyche, they get rid of Igor Tudor, which I've heard they might get rid of him.
Yes,
and then
that is the rumor. Apparently, Sean Dyche.
Does Dyche have enough Big Sam in him to keep this team up? With the caveat that you said that these players aren't necessarily built for a relegation scrap. They're luxury players.
There needs to be some big change. I don't know.
Big up, Mo. Appreciate you. Looks like there's a raid. Appreciate everybody.
Oh, the City haters here. Good evening, City hater. Hello, City hater.
Thank you so much for stopping by. We're still talking. He doesn't hate City.
Oh my God.
He doesn't hate City, but he gives a platform for enough City haters that it reflects on him. But I like Mo. Mo's a good dude.
I'm only joking. He knows I'm only joking.
I know.
And by the way, I hope everything's well with him. He knows what I mean by that. Okay. So, do you know what I'd do? Because if Sean Dyche goes in, now Danny, you'll know more than me or Louis. I don't know the Tottenham squad. Have they got any fighters in that squad?
No. No one who's really experienced relegation, I don't think.
So this is the question that Kate is asking. If they do get relegated, we talked about this earlier. Are they quote unquote too big to fail? Do they have enough to keep them up? Or if they go down, can they come right back up? Can they come right? So I was asking the question earlier, Martin, who was the biggest team that you can think of, biggest club that has gone down? There were shouts for Newcastle, Leeds. Because I was answer that. Well, you're gonna say City. Are you gonna say City?
Oh, City's bigger than Newcastle and bigger than Leeds.
Are they now, or were they when they went down?
I think they were when they went down.
Okay, I don't know. Again, your knowledge predates me.
See, that comes back to a question of what is classed as a big club.
Yeah,
this is why we were having earlier. Yeah, and this is why I hate these big. Who's a big club? Because are we talking? If it was on crowd, City had a big club. If it was on recent success, then no, we're not. If it's on historic success, we were always fighting for titles in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s. So I don't know what is classed in this big. Newcastle haven't won a trophy in 70 years. So why were they a big club then?
So this was the point that I was asking, because Tottenham have been in this conversation about the Big Six, and I was saying when I first started watching, there wasn't a Big Six, it was a Big Four, and then it was a Big Five as City started to ascend, and they had to put us in the conversation. They couldn't keep us out, and then as United started falling, they had to expand it even further to keep United in the conversation. But now Tottenham don't deserve to be in that top six conversation, but they've been there for however many years now. And so it feels like they are a big club. It feels like they're a big team. And I looked at it and it said that the last time they got relegated was the 76-77 season, and they did come right back up. I don't know that they come back up or right away.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Newcastle went to the Championship and we're getting crowds of 25,000 in St. James's Park. So they were getting empty seats every week.
I don't know if this is LDBC Killer. Says City were, and he puts it in all caps. City were not bigger than Leeds before the Shakes. Don't let Martin lie to you.
Well, to be fair, they were in the Champions League semi-final in 2001, I think.
Yeah, but that's why I said recent success.
Yeah.
What we talk. This is what I mean. Historically, yes,
bigger than Spurs.
But historically, see, people don't look at City's history in the correct way. People look at City from 1992 onwards. This is why I get so upset about this big
Appreciate
club thing.
You.
Because everyone goes, 1992 was when the Premier League began. That's fine. Manchester City were the first big club, or one of the first bigger clubs to win an FA Cup. We won it before United, won it before Arsenal, all of that. We have got the record attendance in the whole of the UK.
Yeah.
In the whole of England, we have the attendance record. We've had legends, and everyone goes, well, Sean Goat is a legend. Well, let's talk about Matt Busby, who played for City. Let's talk about Don Revie, who played for City. But we're not allowed to, because our history gets diluted down to Premier League, and that's it. We were the first team in England to win a European trophy and a domestic trophy in the same season. in 69-70 under Tony Buck.
Yeah, what was it? Cup Winners' Cup, wasn't it, that season?
Yeah, we won the Cup Winners' Cup and won the League Cup. But all of that gets ignored. We won the league at St. James's Park in the 50s with the famous Francis Lee, Bell Lee and Somerby. I can tell, this is what I mean, this big club thing. Of course, I'm going to say City are a big club. Leeds are a massive club. I'm not saying they're not. But Leeds were great in the 70s, in the 80s or 70s.
They won the league in 92 as well, didn't they, Leeds? Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, 91.
Oh,
91.
Right.
This comment is funny.
Under Howard Wilkinson.
Martin, don't lie to our colonial cousins. This I love this just because you're calling me a colonial cousin. This is funny to me. So yeah,
Well, can you ask IDB how far back is he going back on history though? What does he class as a big club?
Yeah, no, he can. I'm sure.
I need this is my point.
Put it
for
in
me
the
to have a debate. Yeah, because I'm not saying. Listen, Leeds are a huge club.
Hold on, Martin.
What is a big club?
Hold on. So the thing about this show that I do every Tuesday is I invite anyone and everyone to come on and have their say. So if it's IDBC Killer or whoever else, if you feel differently, you don't agree with what I'm saying or what the panel is saying, you have the ability to click the link in the pinned message at the top of the messages. You can click that link. It will take you right into StreamYard. I will put you on the screen. As long as you have your mic and your camera, you can come on and say whatever you want to say. Even if you don't have a camera, as long as you have a mic, you can come on. Now, again, some people come on and just stay on for 3 minutes, 5 minutes to have their little say, and then they drop back off. Other people want to stay on and just be a part of the show for the rest of the time. But I will open the platform up to you so you can tell me why maybe you don't agree that City were bigger or are bigger than Leeds at the time or whoever else. But also you might want to tell me why you think Tottenham is or is not the biggest club to go down, if in fact they do go down. So,
well, here's my Man United. Here's my question: Are Man United, are Arsenal a big club right now?
Are Arsenal a big club? Yes, Arsenal are.
By the way,
I would say so, yeah, because you got the 90s and the 2000s to back that up.
No, okay, but that's what I'm saying. So how far back are we going? Arsenal have gone 22 years and not won a league.
Because the thing is, Martin, if you're going back to like the 50s and 60s, you've got to talk about like Nottingham Forest winning back-to-back champions.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. I class Arsenal as a big club. Arsenal are a huge club. But I don't know why Manchester City's got this stigma around a lot of people outside of City that we were created in 2008, and I find it ignorance because Man United have not really done anything in nearly 20 years. Arsenal have not done anything in 20 years, and they're talked about and their history, but City's history just gets ignored because it was pre-Premier League. Manchester City finished 5th in the first year of the Premier League, 5th under Peter Reid. So I don't know this is the debates. I don't know. We're doing it on crowds. Are we doing it on players? Are we doing it on legends? Are we doing it on cups, winners? I don't know. This is why I'd just love to know what the measuring stick is.
No, that's a fair statement. Again, I think people are going to, when you say a big club, that is subjective. There is no official measure or objective measure that defines a big club. Now, maybe if we had if you live in the States, I'm sure they would have created some kind of a formula that ESPN would be using, but we don't have that, right? So it is very much still a subjective discussion. But when I looked at Tottenham, because of, again, as long as I've been watching, well, not as long, but most of the time that I've been watching, they have been considered a top 6 club. And so for them to go down is like, for me as an American who doesn't have relegation as a part of their, normal, as a part of our sports, but I also understand it and I love it. I appreciate it. To me, it's like, wow, I can't believe that they are literally about to go down when we were just playing them in the Champions League. And they were in a Champions League final, and they had Harry Kane and Son and all of this, all the things that I can think about in my head for them to go down is crazy to me. When I started, and I was telling Danny this, when I started watching, I saw Newcastle go down, I saw Sunderland go down, and I had heard about the derbies between the two, right? So for either of them to go down was big to me. For Sunderland to go down and then not to spend as much time in the championship as they did, even to go down multiple divisions, was like great, because I appreciate the concept of relegation. But also it's like, wow, this is crazy that they what I thought was a big club, Sunderland, being down there and not coming back up. And now I realize maybe Sunderland isn't as big as I thought they were when I first was exposed to it. But Tottenham feels big to me. And then for 49 years, they've been in the top flight. So for 49 consecutive seasons to be a part of the top flight, to potentially go down now, to me is like, wow, that's crazy. But relegation doesn't have any, which is why the idea of, which is what I was saying, the idea of being too big to fail doesn't exist. If you don't play well, you go down. And to your point, I don't know if they have what it takes to stay up. They don't have the guts.
But by the way, Tariq, we've now established that IDB, whatever his name is a troll.
Maybe. Okay, I didn't see what you're talking about in the chat.
Because he's now saying we've got 0 league titles before the oil.
Yeah, so we know that that's factually not correct. It's factually just not correct. So, yeah.
Yes, I told you, Tariq, it's ignorance.
Well, again, yeah, that it is a factually incorrect statement. So, it is what it is. Now, I appreciate him and everybody, or him or her, IDPC. I'll just call you by your name. Appreciate you being here. That's just an incorrect. It is a factually incorrect statement. It just is what it is. So whether that's intentionally, I don't know that you're trolling per se, or maybe you just didn't know, but it's just a factually incorrect statement. But I appreciate everybody that is here, that has come over from wherever you come from. You don't have to be a fan of City to be a part of this conversation. So feel free to jump in. Also, do me a favor. If you like the content at all, even if you don't like City, but if you like the content, you like the conversation, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It will help me. I'm trying to get to 500. I need about 150 more. There's 245 of you in here right now. I think I can probably get to 500 just off of this show tonight. But I need your help. We do have another guest, Vibes Cartel. Welcome to Talk Back Tuesday, man. How you doing?
You're welcome. Hello, guys.
So tell me what team are you a fan of? Or a supporter of?
I'm an Arsenal fan from Gambia.
Okay. So Arsenal fan. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So tell me what you want to talk about. Do you
I
have
saw
a particular or?
I think this man is a City fan, right?
I'm a City fan, yes.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, all of us,
I heard him talking about history. Maybe in the UK he knows a lot about City, but I don't think even in the Gambia here we have a lot of City fans. From 2008, all the City fans I know, they start supporting City from 2008 to 2026.
Yeah,
so
no, that's fair.
I don't think City is that big.
So let me understand your statement. So you are saying that they are not City. So City is not a big club because they don't have the international following that maybe a Arsenal does, or as an Arsenal fan, or a United does. That's your argument, correct?
Yeah, I have been supporting Arsenal since 2004. I watched the Champions League final between Arsenal and Barcelona. Yeah, so I love Arsenal. No matter what happened, I love Arsenal.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. And I don't question that. But I guess my question for you, though, is just because maybe, and I think we may have lost him, but I guess my question for him or for anybody else would be, just because, and again, I live in the US. You could probably tell that by my accent, but maybe you can't. I don't know. But I live in the US. just because I don't see as many, and I promise I did not kick him off. He disconnected somehow. So it looks like he's trying to get back on, but I don't know if it's working. But I guess just because I look around and I see more United jerseys than I do City jerseys, or I see more Arsenal jerseys, and I don't really see more Arsenal jerseys, but I do see, especially when I first started watching, I definitely saw more United jerseys, or I see more Barcelona jerseys or whatever, right? But that doesn't make the club itself bigger in my mind. But it sounds like that's how you're judging it, which I don't know. Martin, do you want to, is anyone willing to argue the point that maybe City didn't have a big following? Did you say Gambia?
Yeah, Gambia,
yeah. Like so maybe Gambia. City doesn't have a big following in Gambia, but that doesn't mean that they're not a big club based on what they have done historically. And no, just because
for the past 20 years or past 15 years, they have done a very good job. They did very well, you know. That's why many people, they have a lot of fans. You know, sometimes you can win fans. You can win. Like when I was growing up, I was supporting Juventus. Juventus is my team before.
So what made you switch? Why'd you switch teams?
I just fall in love with Arsenal. For me, before when I was young, I thought that Arsenal is a French team because they have a lot of French players. So that's how I support Arsenal. Yeah, that's how I support Arsenal.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah.
When I was young, you know Del Piero?
Yeah.
Del Piero was my favorite player. It's my favorite player, and that is the reason why I support Italy in the World Cup. I love Italy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So again, you started watching, you said in 2004, which is before me. I'm from America. I'm from the US. I'm much more of a basketball. That's where if I go back in time, that's what I was watching was more basketball, football, whatever. Right. So I don't have the same historical take that you do. Right. But what I will say is that while your perspective of City is predicated upon what you've known from 2004 till now, and I can hear what you're saying, but you also it would be wild to just disregard the historical facts that Martin has already laid out, and Martin is the gentleman in the middle at the top with that on.
I know he knows a lot about City. That's why when he says some things, I never heard that about City. I don't follow them that much, so
that's why I've got all the facts. I've got all the facts.
That's what I was going to say. So I think that, I hear your statement, right? Where you live, City wasn't big until more recently. I understand that. And that's perfectly, that is a perfectly fine observation, but it doesn't negate, but it doesn't negate the actual facts of the matter that City have won titles well before 2004, 2008. Whatever. Yeah. So I hear you that, in your mind, City aren't big in Gambia, or maybe they are now, but they weren't at the time.
Now they are big.
Yeah. See, now they're big, right? So again, I don't think that. So City have won a lot more recently. But again, I just don't want to. I don't want us to disregard the history just because we weren't around to see it, right? So for me, since I've been watching football, I'm trying to remember, I don't think Arsenal have won a league since I've been watching. And I started in 2012. Yeah, 2012. So Arsenal haven't won. So if we use that metric based on just what I've seen, I would say Arsenal aren't a big club, but I know better than that, right? Because I know about, I've seen enough, I've heard enough, I've talked to enough people to know that, hey, Arsenal won the Invincibles. They were the Invincibles, right? Now I can have my thoughts about
the Invincibles. I was young. I cannot remember fully. Yeah. I was young. No, I was in primary school.
I wasn't watching at the time, but I've had those conversations, and I can acknowledge that, you know what? That's a major accomplishment. Now, I don't think it's as big as City winning the quad, the domestic quad. I don't think it's as big as winning a Champions League, because again, you have too many draws there. But that's a conversation we could have. But an honest conversation would say City are a big club, even if I didn't know it. I didn't know it, right? Yeah. So what I hope is when you get off of this call, or when we get off this stream, that you say, I may not like City because you're an Arsenal fan.
No, I don't like them now
but City. But I'm not going to sit here and deny that City are a big club. Now, again, they may not have historically the same track record as this team or that team or whatever, right? That's neither here nor there. But we're not going to sit here and act like they're not a big club. We're just not.
Can I ask him a question? Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Was it? Are you? When you say City are a big club, or they weren't, and that's fine. That's fine. Is that because of what you hear?
Not now.
But is that what you hear online, or what you read, or what when you watch YouTube? Is that just the impression you get or get given?
Most of the City fans I know in Gambia, they are either Barcelona fans before. When Barcelona was down, they switch. You know, some fans are there. They are not real fans. They always switch. But for me, Man U fans and Arsenal fans, the fans are there in Gambia.
Man U fans. Man United fans were getting a lot of fans from abroad when they were winning. City were having bigger attendances than United.
Yeah, but when they are down, those fans will never move to another club. They will still stay at United.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but other fans like Chelsea, they don't have real fans. They will just support because the club is winning. For me, whatever happens,
I think that's a unfair statement to make. And again, no disrespect to you, because as an American, I get the whole plastic conversation. That happens to me all the time, right? But you can't say that people aren't real fans, and as soon as Chelsea goes then they won't, because you personally moved from being a Juve fan to being a Arsenal fan. People have their thoughts. People have their thoughts on why they do those things, and that doesn't mean that necessarily. Yeah, but I'm saying the people that you're talking about have their own reasons. So for you to point the finger at them,
most of them, I do have conversations with them because I have friends. We watch football together. They will tell you that some of them support a particular player. If the player moves, they will move. If a player goes to another team, they will move. But for me, Serie A was not that much. I cannot watch Serie A at that time. It's very difficult for me sometimes. So Premier League is way too much here. If I want to watch Premier League, it's easy for me. So almost.
What do you class as a big club?
What do you class as a big club? There's another person that wants to jump on, Enigma. I'm gonna get Enigma on. Any last things that you want to say before I drop you off?
I mean, you're asking a question. Can you go on, please?
No, just said.
Go ahead.
No, go on, Tariq. You're hosting it, mate.
Well, now I'll let you ask your question, and then we'll get to Enigma. I'll go ahead and bring him on the stick.
What does he class as what is classed as a big club in your eyes?
No, in my eye, no. City is a big club now. I mean, what I'm glad because of the Premier League titles you have. Because till now you have won a lot, but we have more Premier League titles than you.
League titles.
Yeah, league titles. Yeah, league titles. League titles. You're talking about top flight, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, league titles because we have 13. Even Chelsea, they always talk to us, but we have more league titles than them. I think only Man U and Liverpool have more league titles than Arsenal.
So if by that definition, if City
we have 14 FA Cups.
If we get more titles than Arsenal, does that make City a bigger club than Arsenal?
No, I don't think.
If we overtake you.
No, if you go to Europe, you are bigger than me. I cannot argue with you because you won the Champions League.
So you're saying that City are already bigger than Arsenal. City are already bigger than Arsenal in your mind.
In Europe, yeah, because you played the final and you won the Champions League.
Sure, but last question: if City go on to win more Premier League titles and we overtake Arsenal, does that then change your thought? We will be a bigger club than Arsenal. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
That's how you define a big club. Cool, I appreciate it. Hey man, thank you so much for jumping on. I hope you come back next Tuesday. Every Tuesday I do this, right? Every Tuesday I do this. You're more than welcome to come back on and let's
I was just scrolling on YouTube and I saw your channel. I decided to jump in.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I was watching Football Terrace and Judge Mo. I always follow football, you know.
Yeah, Judge Mo. I've been on his channel before, and he big up to him for everybody that's here from the raid. So I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna get to Enigma. Let Enigma say what they got to say. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, Enigma. Tell me who you're a fan of, and Then tell me what you want to tell me.
I'm an Arsenal fan.
Arsenal fan. Okay.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm tuning into your show. I think
Appreciate
I usually see it on George Moore's channel.
Yeah.
One thing I like about you, and that's where I want to start from, is the fact that you're one of the few fans out there that you can actually have objective conversations with without
appreciate that.
them getting irate or getting their feelings. I get my feelings too sometimes, but
of course we all do.
It's very important for me. Defining a big club, it's almost like defining what a world-class player is. It's really difficult.
It's subjective.
It's very subjective. But there are some things that you need to have, right? There is a level of dominance you need to have in your league, especially if you have an era that defines which Manchester City already have, right? So Manchester are a big club because they've defined this era of the Premier League because they've won multiple Premier League titles. So categorically, Manchester City are a way bigger club than, let's say, Tottenham, and they are closer to Arsenal. I can say that now. In this era, they've been better than Arsenal. They've defined this era, so that makes them a big club. And they've also won the Champions League. And they haven't only won the Champions League by fluke. FC Porto won the Champions League 2004, as an example, right? And since then, they haven't been consistent in the Champions League. Manchester City have been in multiple semi-finals, multiple finals, and they've competed over an extended period of time. If this continues, and you guys have the financial clout, so you need to have financial clout, which is one of the things Tottenham have, and that is one of the reasons people categorize Tottenham as a big club, because over the last 20 years they have huge finances, right?
Oh, let me pause you 1 second. I'm gonna let you get back into it, because this conversation about big club wasn't started to, downgrade one club or another. It was really started because I was asking the question: are Tottenham going to be one of the biggest clubs to be relegated if, in fact, they get relegated? Right. So I don't want anybody here, regardless of what club you're a fan of. This wasn't to say City are bigger than your club or that club or whatever. It was really just about who. Is Tottenham going to be the biggest club to go down? And there were people brought up Newcastle and Leeds and whatever. So we started the conversation there. Of course, anytime you get fans of different clubs, we're tribal. So people are going to chime in and say how this club is not as big as this club or whatever. And maybe it was trolling. I don't know. But I'm going to let you get back into it. I just wanted to say that this wasn't a conversation to say Arsenal aren't a big club, because I do think Arsenal are a big club. No, I'm not a fan of Arsenal. But I think you're a big club, right? So it would be disingenuous for me to say Arsenal aren't a big club. That would be silly.
It'll be banter, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you already said I do banter some, but not as much as a lot of other people. So I'll let you get back into it. Go ahead, man.
If the conversation is strictly on Tottenham Hotspur, they're a big club in this era, in the sense that they have money, right? And when you have money, and let's take this away from football. Anybody, if you have a family member that has money, as an example, right? There's a degree of respect that is accorded to people who have financial clout.
Sure.
Regardless of whether they're wasteful, whether they're competent. You've met, everyone in this room has probably met somebody who you would think this person is incompetent, but they're rich, right? They're rich. It is what it is. The house might come collapsing in 20 years' time and they don't have any money. But in that very moment, they have money. So Tottenham are a big club because they've consistently played in the Champions League. They're probably one of the richest clubs, if they go down, that has ever gone down. Because usually what coincides with clubs going down, especially clubs that we've categorized as big clubs, is when they lose that edge, which is money. Leeds, the only reason Leeds got relegated is because they had to sell players, they've mismanaged funds and stuff like that. I'm sure when you trace back, I don't have the data in front of me, obviously. When you trace back, most big teams that either get relegated or get in the relegation fight is typically because they've lost that edge, which is they're not able to buy quality footballers. The Tottenham case is pretty unique. I've never seen a scenario before where a club they've spent like 1 billion in the last 10 years, right? And they're about to get relegated. I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they have the fight in them. I don't think they have the connection with the fans. And when you start losing those fundamentals as a big club, you're gonna have some wretched form. It's gonna happen. So I think Tottenham might be the biggest club in the last 30 years to go down if they go down.
So using the names that were thrown out earlier, do you think this Tottenham team, or Tottenham, not even just this team, but just Tottenham in general, are bigger than the Newcastle team that went down? Okay. Do you think they're bigger than Leeds when Leeds went down?
Leeds. How many league titles does Leeds have? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with how many league titles they have in their history.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
All I know is 92. That's about it.
Yeah.
Because what I typically want to use is the league, right? The league you're playing in, the Premier League. How many titles do you have? And how
so is
far
that your
away...
definition of a big club too? Do you define a big club based on titles?
In your league, yes.
Okay.
Because
league,
especially if we're talking about Premier League, you got to talk about the league title. It's the bread and butter of the league, because that is the only thing that you can judge consistency with. Because that's 38 games every season for an extended period of time, right? But like Tottenham has been in this league for a very long time. They've been consistent, even if maybe they didn't win a lot of trophies. They've been very consistent. They played in European football consistently over that period. I don't think any of Newcastle Leeds at this level of consistency over a 10-15 year period before they got relegated. Absolutely not.
Just seen this from Football Knowledge 1976, which was a great year. Spurs financially are in top 10 in the world. That's why if they go down, it'll be a big deal. I'm interested to know if there's any Tottenham fans that are either in the chat or actually watching, because if you're a Tottenham fan, I want to know what your thoughts are about this relegation battle that you're in. It's not even a question. You are 1 point outside of the relegation zone. You've lost 5 straight matches. I've kind of said all this at the beginning of the show, but there is a very distinct and real possibility that Tottenham could go down. This isn't just banter. You know, it probably.
Can I just clarify something
in the season? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Leeds have won the league 3 times. Newcastle have won it 4 times. Tottenham have won it twice.
Okay. So by that definition,
we're doing it on league titles. That
by that definition,
we got to put something on the paper, right?
So still, it would be Newcastle. Yeah, that's what people said earlier. They said Newcastle or Leeds would probably be the biggest ones to go down. So again, this is me again. So I recognize that I don't have as much history with the sport as some of you from like the UK do, right? That's just not, I wasn't born in a family that played or watched or whatever, right? I was in the US, right? So I am trying to learn as much as I can, and I'm trying to constantly, be adding to my knowledge about the sport. And so that's why I really wanted to know, because in my mind, Tottenham might be the biggest club to go down, but now I'm really seeing that maybe it really was Newcastle or even a Leeds or whoever. So
Tottenham are not even
to all of you for helping me educate myself.
Tottenham are not in the third. That's why, for me, City were a bigger club when they went down because of what they won. City had won more trophies when we got relegated in '96 than what Tottenham had won. Because people do this, people forget City had won. And like I said, people have got this thing on Manchester City. I don't know why. I think.
I don't know if is that just Martin breaking up or
that's just
okay. I didn't know if it was Martin or me. So I'll Enigma. Anything else you wanted to say while we try to get Martin back? Anything else you wanted to say? You're welcome to stay on. You can drop. It's up to you. I want to make sure you get a chance to finish your thoughts, though.
No, I'm good. I think you have something good going on here. So
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I'll subscribe and start. This is I didn't even know you.
Is everyone going to go down now?
No. I don't know if it's StreamYard or YouTube, but hey, Enigma, I'm gonna go ahead and there you go.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it. You broke up a little bit, but I appreciate all the kind words. Again, we do this every Tuesday, and like you clicked the link and jumped on. I'll say the same thing. There's 100 plus other people out there. You're more than welcome to jump on and have your say. That's what this show was about. Again, Enigma said he's seen me on Judge Mo's channel. You've seen me, some people on LB's channel, some people on Martin's channel. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you. But I talk at people all week long on YouTube, so I wanted to be able to hear back from you. So this is what this show is about. Every Tuesday night we do this. All you have to do is click that link in the chat. It's at the top. It should be the pinned message.
Oh, did you lose, man? I was halfway
we
through
did lose you. All the things that you were saying, it was award-winning stuff that you were saying, but we lost it all.
I was cooking. I was lifting off all our runners because this is the thing. Like I said, for me, City had won the league twice before the Premier League started. We'd won the FA Cup before any of the other major clubs in 1903. We'd won the FA Cup 2 or 3 times. We'd been in 5 FA Cup finals, so we'd finished runners-up. We'd finished runners-up in the league 3 times. We'd won the Cup Winners' Cup. We'd won the League Cup and Cup Winners' Cup in the same season. This is what the big club thing. I'm going to be honest. For me, people think football began in 1992.
Yeah,
when Manchester City's talked, when City's talked about very differently to other clubs. So you'll hear Arsenal, United, Liverpool, they can talk about the 50s and the 40s and the 60s. City aren't allowed to do that. For some reason, the takeover has muddied the waters a little bit. I think people don't. I'm going to be straight with you, gang. I think people don't. I think people see City not as a real thing because of the takeover. I think they've decided that the takeover wasn't real, and because of all the charges that are going on, and I think people have just dismissed everything in the background. And it's like I was talking to a guy the other day, and he didn't even know that Matt Busby had played for City. He didn't know City had won at United to relegate him. He was telling me about, it was a Leeds fan who was joining the Leeds game, and he was like, "Oh, Don Revie, you've never had Don Revie at your football club or someone like that." I went, "We did. Played for us." And it's what's happened is people have dismissed the past. It's like the Frank Swift, who's passed away. People talk about the Munich air disaster, for example, and it was a Man United situation, but that was also a tragedy for Manchester. People don't research enough anymore, and it's quite sad. It's quite sad because I don't know whether it's ignorance, laziness, or what. But let's put it this way: if City go 20 years and don't win a title, there's big headlines about it. If someone else goes 20 years and doesn't win a title, they talk about their history to still make them relevant. So, and the thing is, no one has ever dismissed Arsenal, Leeds, Villa, Forest as a massive club. It's like Wolfie, for example. Wolfie still dines out on the 2 European Cups that Forest have won.
No, yeah, and fair enough, of course.
And he should do. He should do. But does that make Forest a big club now?
Right.
Again, it comes back to your debate on what is a big club. Like I said, City hold the attendance. No one in this league, in this country of England, has ever had 84,000 fans in their stadium. We have. I think what it is they look at the empty seats and they look at everything else. I'm gonna hit people another fact. Real Madrid have loads of seats available for tomorrow night. Why is that?
I was going to say I saw that tweet.
Why is that not being talked about? Real Madrid can't sell out tomorrow night. Why is that not being talked about? I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. The Manchester City thing is more than football, and that's why I get so worked about it. It's not a football thing. It's who owns us, where the money's come from, the charges. It's everything. I'm going to say we're just not liked. We're not liked, and that's fine. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to make you cry. I'm sorry, that's what it is. We're just not. It's like people are doing shows dismissing Pep's legacy now.
Yeah, I saw that, and again, I think the idea that we won't regurgitate shows that we've already been played in other streams or whatever. But yeah, the idea that Pep failed at Bayern Munich because he didn't win them a Champions League, so therefore that in some way makes him a failure or something like that. You can say he didn't. I'm sure you ask him, he wanted to win the Champions League. That was probably his goal. He was expecting to win it, and it didn't happen. So yeah, but that doesn't make him a failure, and we don't need to go to those extremes and just, do silly stuff, right? So again, I do appreciate everybody being here. I do want to ask that you be respectful of each other in the chat. I added a couple more mods to help with that, but we do respect all opinions. Again, I don't have to agree with them.
Is yours an open offer, by the way, for me, Derek?
What is it?
Is it what you asked me last week about being a mod?
Yeah. No, I forget what your title is today. City 5044. I gotta find
City 44.
Yeah, put a comment. Put a comment in, and I'll just click it that way. Yeah, just put a comment
in front of that.
Well, it changes every week, and so it's like I don't know how to keep up. It's like City 44 Ferrari. He said Ferrari. I was like, oh, he got a man. This dude's driving a Ferrari. And then now that I know it's Louis, I know it's probably F1 that he's talking about. But I didn't know that initially.
I didn't know. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know. I had to ask Louis.
I texted you. I texted.
Yeah, he had to text me. Yeah, he was texting me going, "That's me," and I'm like, "What?" Because I was arguing with him in the chat, and then he went, "You know, it's me, don't you?" And I went, "No." I was like. I said something about City 44 Ferrari, and then I was like, whatever. And then he was like, "Oh, this is Louis." I was like, "Oh, you should have just said that from the beginning." Again, I'm an old man. Danny used to do that. His faces. He'd stay very quiet and then just unload right at the end. You're like, "Whoa!"
Did I used to do that? I don't remember.
See, this is what I wasn't sure.
Remember when you came in on me on that space and you were like, "You told me, blah blah blah," and I went, "Whoa, what's up with you today?"
When I saw the name, so Magnus, when I saw the name, I don't know if the person drives a Ferrari or not, so I wasn't sure. And then he said it was Louis. Maybe Louis does drive a Ferrari. I don't know. I know he's an F1 fan.
I wish I drove a Ferrari if I was on. Oh my god! Yeah,
you're not quite Sheikh Mansour going to Spain in a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Do you know what's amazing? Exactly. I've even heard. Do you know what it is, Tariq, Danny, and Louis? I've even heard people say Arteta's better than Pep now. I just, unfortunately, I've just accepted. Yes, all opinions are allowed, and it's their opinion. But unless you're on a City show with City fans, you're never going to get a fair argument. You just won't. There's always going to be some stake somewhere.
Well, so I'm going to pause you for a second, right? So, Danny, you talked about that chant. There's a feature because if you pay attention, you'll see comments from Stream Elements or something like that. But if you type, I think it's exclamation chant. Let's see what happens if I put this in the chat. Exclamation chant. It should come back with a it's exactly that one. Yeah. It's exactly that one. So if you're in the chat and you're a City fan and you type in whenever you want to, just go ahead and type in exclamation chant. It will bring back a chant. In this case, is the same one that Danny was singing.
Exactly.
But there are others out there as well. So you might now a good guest would actually come on stream and sing the chant that they get back. But I won't put that pressure on folks.
Well, no, I want you to. Have you heard the new Semenyo one? That Semenyo one's going round like wildfire.
This is the frustrating part about being a here, right? I'm trying to listen through the TV, so I don't know all the chants that come out, right? So when I went to, why did you not get anything? Maybe there's like maybe it only does like so many in. So wait like wait a minute or two and then do it again, because it should do it. But when I went to the match in at Fulham, I didn't know some of the chants because I had never heard them because I'm only hearing them through TV. So there was the one talking about Amorim never going to win.
Ruben Amorim.
Yeah.
Never gonna win again.
I had to sit there for like 15 minutes and try to understand what people were saying. But they have Mancunian accents, and I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand what they're saying, let alone the words. So it took me a minute to figure it out. So then once I understood it, now I got it right. But then now they don't sing it anymore. So
they socked them. We did it down at Palace, but now they've socked them. So.
Yeah. So now I'm like,
I know we still sing about Van Gaal
chant. I don't know the Semenyo chant.
I don't know that one. I know most of the chants. I don't know the Van Gaal one though.
No, do you know what it is, that Tariq? This is why I always say you can never get to an away game at City. And you've obviously, I know Danny and Tariq, I don't know if you have a little bit, but for people in the chat, going to an away game is so different because that's it's like Newcastle the other night. I know people who said that was the best away end in 10 years they've ever been at with City. And I'm not going to go into why they said that because I don't want to sound.
No, I know.
I don't want to get involved. Yeah, I don't want to get involved in that because I don't think it's right. But there was a real togetherness on last Wednesday with them, and they really seemed. Last Saturday, and they seemed to be really enjoyable. And it was just everyone. People were taking. There was dads and mums taking their kids there on Saturday, just joining in. And there wasn't, going back to the debate we had yesterday, Tariq, when you were in the chat, there wasn't people sat there holding the phones up in the air, filming the game. It was everyone was just embroiled in singing and chanting just having a good old.
There was a guy stood in front of me at Palace with his phone out pretty much the entire game. I just say.
See, and this is the thing. Like, I will acknowledge that there were points in the game where I pulled my phone out to record little, like if it's like a set piece or something, I might pull my phone out to record it because I'm trying to catch it and have it for, the rest of my life. But I also didn't have it out the whole thing. And I was standing and singing and all the things that go along with being a City fan. So,
he's a fake fan, Danny. That's what he's admitting.
That's what I was going to say. I did pull my phone out. And I have a video. I have a video of Haaland kicking a penalty that I captured, and he scored it because I had my phone out. Now, again, I understand.
Give it to Edison. Give it to Edison.
I heard that too. Yeah. I heard that they were singing
Stop
that.
Sadiq. No. No, listen, I get it. It's all. I just think the chant.
There were people singing that chant though, because that's the last game.
Yeah, no,
so they
do.
Yeah.
I just think it's like I've said this on shows. Nobody slags Savinho off at games.
I told you.
Savinho, people sing his name.
Palace and we were singing his name.
It's like, when people would do, when there was that thing online of sack Pep, time for him to go. The people in the crowd were singing the Pep Guardiola song at the end, bowing to him. Mm-hmm. I just think this is why I've always said, just go to a game and you'll experience so much difference. You'll really see something different. It becomes ingrained in you just see it very differently. And that's why I'm so happy, Danny, you, Tariq, people have, because I think you realise there's a bond, there's a real togetherness there. That's unbreakable.
That's why it was different for me, because I went when I was 11, I went when I was 15, both with my dad. This is the first time I went on my own. I got to do it fully unadulterated, and I got to fully experience it. And that's why it's going to sit with me forever.
Yeah, and you have a drink, and some people can go stay in an hotel on Saturday night and make a night of it. And some aren't there, you're not just there for the game, you're there for the experience, and you're there with your mates, and you're having a laugh.
And people don't realise the commitment. Again, I was up at 5:30, had to take an Uber to some pub in Salford to get picked up by the coach, and it's 5 hours there, 5 hours back. You're back at 10 p.m.
That when you went to Palace?
Yeah. So, and there are people who do every away game every season. But Luke goes, look what the journey Luke's going to make in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Jesus, exactly.
he's gonna get Ryanair proper going.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one vlogger I can get behind. I know the commitment it takes.
But why is Magnus not ever coming on? He told me he was coming on.
He was. But then you came on and he decided he wasn't coming on anymore. Actually,
right.
He did not say that.
Magnus.
He did not say that. He did not say that. That's me stirring the pot. I apologize, Magnus. I'm supposed to be better than that, and I apologize. So yes.
Well,
poor hosting skills, Tariq. Calling me out.
I know, and I just made him a mod too, so I'm putting more responsibility on him, and also talking trash. It's just bad all around. So yeah,
It's Magnus's old age. Bless him.
So I think I'm gonna go ahead and I got more things that I was planning to talk about tonight, but I think I'm gonna hold some of this stuff. Question. So I saw that, and Danny, you probably saw this. Liverpool are coming to the US this summer for their preseason tour, which is strange because, well, not strange, but there's a World Cup that's happening, so they're coming on the back of the World Cup. But as far as I can tell, Leeds, Sunderland, Wrexham, and Liverpool have already been announced.
Wrexham.
Yes. Well, that makes sense for them because the owners.
I'm thinking for the fan base. No, I don't. Maybe they do have a big American fan. I don't know. I don't know if it's.
I don't think it's big.
I don't really see it, but
yeah, I don't think it's big. But the documentary Welcome to Wrexham or whatever it's called, I think is people watch that. It's a TV show more than it is a support for the team.
Well, it's kind of Wrexham a fake club. Now, by the way, I know they're not, but I'm going off the same stick a lot of teams, because
I'm going to stay out.
You know what I mean?
We always criticize rival fans because they don't research our history. I know nothing.
Absolutely.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying it to slag Wrexham off, Danny. I'm trying to do it because I think Wrexham are a great football club. They knocked Arsenal out with the famous Mickey Thomas goal. I'm not saying Wrexham are a fake club or anything. What I'm saying is it's going to be intriguing to see how people view Wrexham if they get promoted to the Premier League and start. Because I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to say it straight. I think the hate only comes in when you start taking cake off a table. I think if City had been top like Newcastle now, 7th, 8th, the occasional Carabao Cup, little bit of a Champions League every now and again, don't think there'd be a big hoo-ha. I think City have taken food off the top plate, and that's where the hate's come from.
Well, to Graham's point, I agree with this statement. Right now, Wrexham, they probably get a little bit of hate just because they've progressed up to the table very quickly. If they get promoted to the Premier League, then you will start to see all the conversations again, because it's already talk about Hollywood, and then talk about the owners and all that kind of stuff. But
they did it because of money.
Yeah, if they get there and they start competing at that highest level, they will absolutely start to hear those same conversations that we hear now.
It's like Newcastle now, because I mean, this is why I've said, and Louis, you'll probably know this, but Manchester City was everyone's second team 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was it that made them attractive?
I think Arsenal fans like. Do you remember when they gave David Seaman that retirement thing when he scored that cracking goal? Mm-hmm. It's like because it was City against Arsenal, and it was like the two clubs that he was at. It was kind of like a symbolism for them. It's that sort of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
They like to look at us like good, nice one, mate.
Yeah, because
I think what changes when we took Nasra. Yeah, when we started taking Nasra,
Adebayor and
Adebayor in 2009.
Yeah, then it changed because now you're not taking players at the end of a career. Now you're taking players in their prime.
Yes.
Yeah. So it changes now, and City was everyone. People used to say City because people used to say City's fan base was unbelievable. People used to praise our fan base. Used to go, "You're filling out your stadium, and you're doing nothing, and you're filling out your stadium week in, week out. You guys deserve some success." It was always, if my team can't win the FA Cup, I'd love City fans to get a nice day, go and win the FA Cup. It was when we started taking the top honours on the regular. Then it changed.
And so
then it became, hang on a minute, you weren't meant to replace us.
Do you think it was the suddenness as well? Do you think it was the suddenness as well? Like literally going from the takeover in 2008 and then getting close to the Champions League in 2010, then getting to the Champions League in 2011 and like winning the FA Cup and then winning the Premier League instantly after the next year. Like everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on here?
Oh, go back to the QPR game. Everyone, bar Man United, was celebrating us winning the league that day.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, different story. Now we've won it too many times.
I assume this is where the whole no one cares about City comes from. Because, again, people used to actually support us to win things. Now we do win things, and people don't like it no more. So,
big up to everyone that is out here that is watching. I appreciate you. I want you to know that your presence is not taken for granted. I appreciate you being here and participating in the show. We are going to go ahead and bring it to a close, but I do want to ask before we do that, if you could do me a favor, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It will help me as I'm trying to grow the channel. Again, I'm just trying to get to 500. I think I'm at 350 something. I don't know. So I'm about 150 subscribers off. There's still more than 150 you on here now. So we can get there. It doesn't have to happen tonight, but I just appreciate your support. I also, even more than the subscribe button, I hope that you'll come back next week. We do this every Tuesday. And you can get a chance to come on and have your say, as we saw Enigma do, as we saw Vibes Cartel do. You can come on and have your say, whether I agree with it or not, doesn't really matter. But we're open to all conversations, again, as long as you're going to be respectful. So really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support and all the activity in the chat. Keeps it lively. Thank you so much. Do want to no, we'll go ahead and we'll call.
Did you give your score predictions for tomorrow?
So we did earlier, but let's do it as a group. So I think Danny, what did you say earlier? Did we do this match? I know we did the rest of them.
No, we haven't done the predictions yet. No.
All right, so I'll let you go first, Danny.
I'll go conservative 1-1.
Louis?
I'm reserving to not say anything because I went bold last week with Forest and I got cooked with, so I'm not putting the prediction this time.
Well, your lineup's got us winning 5-0.
I was gonna say,
3-1 then. 3-1. 3-1.
All right. We got a 3-1 from Ash. We got a 2-1 from Walter. We got a 3-1 from Snoopy. Big up if you're in the chat and you want to tell us what your prediction is for the City versus Real Madrid match tomorrow. Go ahead, put it in the chat. Briggsy says 2-1 Real tomorrow. 2-1 Real tomorrow. Interesting. I might have to take back that mod rights. Wow. But 2-0 City at the Etihad. Luke from Not in My Lifetime podcast, which you should be watching, said 2-1 City. Io says 4-1 City win. Wow. Governor 3-1 City win. So everybody, for them almost to a man, everyone is suggesting that City is going to win. SBO says Real Madrid 1, City 3, and then when in the reverse fixture, City will take it 2-1. So they have them winning the tie 5-2 altogether.
I agree we will win the tie, but I think tomorrow it's going to be pretty close.
So there's a range of thoughts, Martin. You changed it.
I was at 1-1, but Danny's took it, so I can't. I'm going to go. I do think we'll get a sneaky 2-1 win. It'll be 1-1 or 2-1. I don't think we'll lose tomorrow. I mean, my God, said that now, Anna. I don't think we'll lose. I do think we'll concede. But I just think, I don't know. I just there's a weirdness going on. I don't know why I'm getting more and more belief, and maybe that's
Dragon Wolf said 3-3. That does not feel good for my heart. I can tell you already.
I'm going back in hospital.
I think
that's very stressful.
I think dating back to 2012, we've never kept a clean sheet there.
Yeah. So I was gonna say 3-1, and I know there's a couple people that have already picked 3-1. But I might go down to. I'll just change it slightly. I'll go 3-2. I do think we win. And 3-2 sounds too high. That's a lot of goals. I'll say 2-1. I'll say 2-1 us. It's still a close game, but.
And by the way, I don't buy into this half their squad's injured. Who did we play a few weeks back who had half their squad injured?
I mean, when we played Real, they had a bunch of people out, and we still
no. It was that there was someone we played, and we all went, "Oh, they've got half their team."
You're hinting at Tottenham, and I don't want to talk about
Tottenham. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Quite honestly, we've said it about everybody. We said the same thing about Newcastle. We said the same thing about Newcastle. Oh, their midfield is out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so and like I can't buy into this.
Like I've said several times, we say this every year at Madrid, and every year it's close. So I don't know why I should predict a comfortable win when it never is a comfortable win.
I don't think there'll be anything comfortable about tomorrow. I think it'll be nervous.
I feel well, at least coming into today, I feel oddly comfortable. I don't know, more comfortable than I typically have against Real, and I don't know why. And so now I question myself when I feel that way. Why do I feel that way? Because I don't feel like I should. So yeah, we will see.
It's also looking at it like how they played against Benfica, and Benfica got past them with ease. So if we can do the same thing, then it should be a comfortable game. But like Danny says, you can never take them for granted.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
that again.
I'm kind of how far is a good enough fairness in this competition?
I'm fine with the quarters. I am fine with the quarters. That's all right.
I'm just thinking before we get into the meltdown area.
Yeah, I think we have to beat Real. I think Bayern is probably a step too far. Although I think we could. But I just think if we get past Real, it'll be okay.
See, for me, I'm with Danny. I think quarters, maybe a sneaky semi. I don't think we're good enough to get.
So quarters is getting to Bayern, right? Is that the quarters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we need to get to the quarters. Yes, absolutely. Whether we get to the semis. I have to see how we're playing. I don't know that we've got enough consistency yet to be like, oh, we got to get there, but we'll see. Again, appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you know me or you've seen me, you've probably seen me on Martin's channel, but Martin from the Mancunian Way is on the panel tonight. And so if you're not already subscribed to the Mancunian Way, what are you doing? Go out there, subscribe. I pulled up Luke, his comment. Luke is another city content creator from Not in My Lifetime podcast, NIML podcast, I think is what it is on YouTube. Go out and support him as well. Support all the content creators, even if they're not city content creators. If people are putting a lot of time and effort into this thing to try to bring you entertainment content and whatever. So do us a favor, support, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate each and every one of you, and hopefully I will see you again next week.